Hello, and thank you so much for joining us for your ROH and Impact post show for the 28th of September. Holy crap! What has happened to this year? It is all evaporated. It is wild, just like this episode of Ring of Honor. It wasn't that wild, but I needed to segue somehow into what this was. But I am here with Righteous Reg as always, but we invite you to get in your super chats. No Humper Chats tonight because we got no Luis tonight. My heart is broken. I don't know what to do without him. I'm just a lost little puppy out here. So I don't have access to the Humper Chat. So we're just going to ask you to get in Super Chats. If you could, you can do that by utilizing the little $ icon if you haven't sent in a Super Chat before. The amount of characters kind of escalates with how much you pay. So if you're used to the Humper Chat model, this is a little bit different. Yep. But we've got so many other favors to ask of you. We ask you to subscribe to FightfulSelect.com, which now has annual billing. And until Monday, you get a nice little 2-month discount. I think it's $51 or so. If you want to pay up front for a year's worth of scoops and wrestling news, it's a good little model. If you're looking to be a Fightful Faithful member, we appreciate it. You get more than scoops, though. You get Sean's Q&A show. You get Ask Rhapsody with this fella back there.
Yep.
You get pay-per-view post shows that are not on the main channel, but with me and Alex Pulowski doing a bunch of alternative ones, except for NXT, which is always on the main because we're on the main for whatever that little thing we do is. But a lot happening on FightfulSelect.com. Some Serena Deeb conflicting reports were both reported. You got both sides of the story on that one. Contract news going up constantly. Some more contextual details for the cuts that happened in WWE this past week. We never paywall the names, but some of the added details you can find back there. Lots going on in the wrestling world. Who knows what we're going to see this weekend? Adam Copeland. Maybe Mercedes is on the way. Keep thinking she was injured like 3 years ago, but it wasn't that long ago,
nope,
Reg. It was
not long at all. I was there.
It was the wrestling world just moves so fast that it feels like forever ago, but a lot happening. Of course, Wrestle Dream this weekend, which I'm going to be there. Reg is going to be there because he accidentally got credentialed and accidentally booked himself a flight. And
Wrestle Dream!
We got Wrestle Dream to live out, baby. But tonight we're talking about ROH. Slow but steady improvement, I feel
Slow. I told you it's going to happen, though. It's going to be slow.
I have some things that I really like, some things that I still have qualms about, but it feels like for the first time in a long time, Reg, they have a plan in place. Feels like they know what they're doing, which is always something that breeds confidence for me. So I might not see where it's going yet. I don't know if I'm going to like everything about it, but I'm just glad there's some structure there. What were your thoughts overall, kind of?
I think that things are developing very nicely throughout this episode. There's some stories being told. I thought the commentary was emphasizing on things that haven't been emphasized just to kind of carry along stories and make the brand seem a little bit stronger than they have in a few weeks. Dalton Castle's talking about making it seem stronger. Everybody seemed like to have a little extra something in this episode, and I think that's what the future of ROH is going to be.
I sure hope so. It did feel like there was a little bit more investment in the product tonight. I think having Jimmy Jacobs around probably brings back some warm, fuzzy feelings. It certainly did for me.
Sure did.
Let's get into it because we've got a lot to get through and not a lot of time. But making it easy on us is this lightning fast victory from Josh Woods with Mark Sterling at ringside against Braden Irving. And let me tell you, if you haven't seen him before, you still haven't seen very much of him because this was just a tilt-a-woods and we're out. Now, one thing I'm very excited about is a continued emphasis on Josh Woods. I've been a proponent of his for a long time. I love that guy. He's the best. He is a technical beast.
A lot of our friends in this show actually throughout, Kate.
Yes. It is some of our favorites. I love to see that. My only complaint here is tonight had some longer matches. I think it was a little less squash heavy, which was nice to see. But two of the kind of more like really quick wins were Dalton Castle, who I want to see in action, and Josh Woods, who just selfishly, because I love watching him wrestle, I want to see him do wrestling moves for more than 2 seconds. I get the building of the dominance. I get that he's coming back for Shibata, but I just kind of felt like I want to see Josh Woods wrestle because he's such a damn good wrestler. Like, give me that in ring for more than 10 seconds, but happy that we're still kind of pushing him along this path. Any thoughts on our quick opener? Because I think my thoughts were longer than the match.
Yeah, totally. I mean, anything that makes Josh Woods look strong, I think is a good thing, and that's what's going on here. The squash matches, I'm kind of getting like, all right, guy, we see what's going on here. But I guess for his character and what he's trying to put over, trying to get back to Shibata, this is what he kind of has to do. So I'm not too mad at it.
No, nor am I. I think it also just feels a little counterintuitive to me that the pure division has squashes. I guess because I always associate squashes with being like a big boy thing,
right?
And pure being like the art of wrestling. So that feels a little bit out of friction, but I'm very, very happy that like this is continuing through because I just think the world of Josh Woods and I love that guy. So making it easy on us tonight. We get a quick promo here from Prince Nana that we're going to talk about in a little bit because I'm going to try and kind of keep things grouped together, especially we're up against the clock tonight a little bit with the Impact crew coming in on the back end. But Scorpio Sky defeats Tony Nese with Smart Mark at ringside. Back-to-back duty here for Smart Mark. Tony Nese counters a beautiful German suplex here with a double stomp, but Scorpio Sky comes back with that TKO for the win. Scorpio Sky showing up in ROH. It definitely feels like we're starting to put an emphasis here. I loved commentary putting over that he's a former ROH and AEW champion. Sean has speculated, and it's starting to feel like it's coming more to fruition. Like maybe they're going for a gate-busting pay-per-view with all of the AEW talent that they're kind of filtering into ROH, both in the title picture and in situations like this. I think ROH is a great fit for Scorpio Sky until they can find a better track to get him on in AEW. What were your thoughts on this match?
Yeah, great seeing Scorpio Sky here in this match and in this moment in Ring of Honor. I think he's one of those wrestlers that can benefit from a little short run here in Ring of Honor, get some wins under his belt, get back in people's faces, be Scorpio Sky and just do his thing. Putting him in there with Tony Nese, perfect guy to put him in there with, I think, to kind of get him back in, acclimated with what's going on in the Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor, I think they are doing something. There's some things going on backstage. There's some hands, people. There's all kind of good things happening, I think, to further along the brand of Ring of Honor. And having wrestlers like Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, guys like this kind of going over there, doing their thing, showing that they are a part of AEW, but they still kind of represent the brand of Ring of Honor, I think is great.
Well, let's not forget Ethan Page is right there too, right? There's a Men of the Year story waiting right there. I would think that Ethan Page is going to be a title holder sooner rather than later. It just kind of feels like that. So Scorpio Sky either being in his corner for something like that or being a logical challenger for a title, I think would be a really compelling program because they have that shared history together. Men of the Year was the thing that I liked most from both of them before Dan Lambert entered the picture. Like, I thought they had kind of found this like cool guy niche a little bit. They're chucking Darby Allin down cement stairs. I was having fun in that little era of Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky. So a lot of kind of foreshadowing maybe there as well. Now, one match that really surprised me pleasantly was this Gravity and Lee Johnson match. We've talked about seeing, man, right? He just looked great in there. And we've been seeing and talking about the steady improvement from Lee Johnson. Gravity does get the win here. He hits a suplex before landing a top rope splash that looked really nice here. But to me, this was like Lee Johnson's looking good in defeat. Just some really clean, explosive fundamentals. Those arm drags. Like, I love when wrestling does cool stuff, like really innovative moves. But I also really like when the fundamentals are done super clean, super explosively. And I feel like that's what I'm seeing out of Lee Johnson late. Love, love, love that, especially in an environment like Ring of Honor where those fundamentals kind of are the spirit of ROH in a lot of ways. But I thought this match was a lot of fun. I'm not totally sold on Gravity all the time. Like, I don't know what's happening with the springboards. Like, they look a little weird to me. I don't know. Maybe I just want to be floating in the air, Reg. But I did think Lee Johnson looked great here. I don't have a problem with Gravity, but not my favorite of this crop necessarily, just from a taste standpoint. Your thoughts on this match? It was a lot stronger than I was kind of anticipating.
Yeah, I think Lee Johnson, I don't know what he's been doing. It seems like training a crap ton because the fundamentals, like you said, look amazing. He looks super clean, I think is the best thing about him. And a lot of wrestlers, that's something that even like some of the best wrestlers, they're not clean. Like some of the best wrestlers of all time, like CM Punk, I know, look, CM Punk hasn't been talked about. I'm going to say his name on this episode. CM Punk's not the cleanest wrestler at all. Like some of his stuff looks like it's like, hey, yo, like, are you okay? And they could never get to that point. Could still be great wrestlers, but can never be just a clean wrestler. A wrestler like Pac, a wrestler like Finn Balor, just like super clean, everything's tight. That's kind of a point that I think Lee Johnson is getting to in his wrestling thing. And he's such a young wrestler, and he's going to continue to get better. And I think that him being here on Ring of Honor, just getting a bunch of wins, or in this case, looking great in the loss, is awesome. Gravity, yeah, I kind of feel the same way. There's a bunch of amazing luchadors we see all the time. We see Vikingo, we see Commander, we see, Arez. You could bring in anybody, I think, here. And, when you compare him to those guys, you're like, I mean, I like the slow motion thing. We got the Great Samoa Joe stuff out of that. We get the stalling, springboard dives and stuff. Super fun stuff. I'm like, are they filling in what they thought Bandito would have did? Like they're trying to send out love to him since he's out. Be like, well, you're out. Like, let's show love to your brother while you're there. At least there's this. I don't know what it is. He's still super fun though. And in a match like this, like if you're gonna give me stuff like this, like do it again.
Sure. I think you raise a good point there of like we are absolutely spoiled with the luchadors that have come around to AEW, especially in the past over the past year or so. We just have had so many really, really great ones. I feel like Ray Fenix has been there for a really long time with AEW and was kind of holding that stake down. And we've seen like Vikingo, right? Like all of these great names kind of filling in the pieces. And then when ROH got bought out, you kind of assumed like Flamita would be coming over and Bandito and Dralistico, and we saw some of those names popping up. So it is kind of an embarrassment of riches on the Lucha side, but I'm with you. And I think Lee Johnson coming along is like one of the most rewarding things that we're getting to see here in Ring of Honor. Like I feel that way covering NXT too. When you see the growth week after week, it's just a really, really cool thing. But we got some super chats that are coming in from you guys. Thank you so much. AEW doing with ROH what WWE is doing with NXT names, says Matthew Hooks. That's a very apt comparison. And I think here it's a little bit more dire. I really do think that Tiffany Stratton said Becky Lynch's name by accident. I really do think that giving Dominic Mysterio the North American title is a mistake. But I do think what's good about having AEW names hold the titles right now is we hadn't seen any real contenders being built. So to me, when you do something like put the titles on the Young Bucks and Adam Page, when they drop them, it's going to have so much more of an impact than if the Mogul Embassy did, because they were just kind of showing up and I guess are still around. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but I don't like it because they're not working Saturdays still. It doesn't feel like, regardless of how smoothed over the locker room is. We just don't see them on Collision very much, which means they're not going to be around ROH. But I get the mentality of if they drop those belts, it's going to mean more than if the Mogul Embassy does.
Yeah, and totally. And we're seeing it exactly here, like an NXT example we can use when Becky Lynch drops that title to whoever she drops it to, like they're to the moon. So I think that's kind of what's going on here. It can get a little bit of frustrating if maybe you're a Ring of Honor hardcore or somebody that doesn't want to mix up the brands too much and you're seeing these things going on. Could get a little bit frustrating, but I think the reward in the end is worth it.
Yeah, I think it will be for the ROH crew, especially. Like, I think if we have that, they're going for a record-setting pay-per-view or they're just trying to place some importance on it. Let's not pretend these guys don't all have history in ROH, too, is the other piece of it. So, Shane Monster asking, do I even ask? Where's Stokely? This is a perplexing one. Maybe he's just in Samoa Joe's pocket that much, Reg. I don't know, but
I shot a question into the universe. I was like, hey, you guys, what's up? No response. Maybe I put a message in a bottle. It's still in the ocean. Just
still finding its way.
Clicking it on. Somebody's going to scoop it out, grab it. The bird that I sent off, maybe they'll catch the bird eventually. I don't know.
That's right.
We'll figure it out.
That's right. We'll figure it out. It is weird because he, man, I mean, Lexi Nair's working overtime. We'll talk about it, but
like she's on her Renee.
she's on that Renee Grimes, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I was really liking those Stokely segments, and they were focused around Samoa Joe. But what's weird is it's not like, oh, well, he's not on ROH because he's floating to AEW. We haven't seen him in AEW either. It was kind of funny seeing Prince Nana show up back here with the Mogul Embassy and not seeing Stokely. So he's a fantastic on-screen talent. I feel like been saying it for years when he was in WWE. I've been saying it here. Like, he's just one of the best wrestling managers ever. So I would like to see him get utilized on television more than he is, but we'll have to wait for that message in a bottle to get answered, I guess.
Click, click, click.
That's it.
Flip, flip, flip.
Maybe gravity is keeping it from floating in.
See, there you go. Brought it right back around. Exactly.
That's right. We did. So we have what is the most fun thing on the show. This through line with Billie Starkz and Athena. We have the match, and that is great, but there's such a bigger story going on here. So I'm going to run through it all kind of as much as I can in this condensed way, but we have Athena and Starkz having a disagreement in this match against Lady Frost. Great to see her back. Yes. Whether they should throw Lady Frost in the ring or on the steps, which allows Lady Frost to evade and start to kind of take control. We got Lady Frost hitting a tornado moonsault and Athena pulling Starkz out of the cover from behind the referee's back. And Starkz with the arm trap Styles clash, which looks so good. She has no right doing it this well at this age for the W. And let's just talk about that because there's a lot of really fun things that I loved of like Billie Starkz got the win and there's still dissension is just a fun thing to play off of. Like, Billie Starkz is a young kid. She's rising the ranks at ROH. She's a minion in training here. She's like, I got the W. I'm a happy camper. And Athena is like, no, there's a right way to do it. We do it like this, and you should throw her here. I love that they're keeping the strength of Athena and the happy-go-luckiness of Billie Starkz in play here, but not diminishing where the story is going, which I think is going to be another shot against Billie Starkz. Thought the match was great. I thought Lady Frost looked great in this. Nice to see her back. She and Trish Adora, though, we got to stop 50-50 these gals. It does feel like we're kind of hitting some reset buttons, so I don't want to harp on like the past wins and losses too much, but they keep being like, Lady Frost is back, and then they're like, and Lady Frost lost. So let's decide if she's going to be important. Let's get her some W's, but let's talk about just this piece of it, and then we'll talk about the rest, Reg.
Yeah, I think that's funny because they brought it up on commentary too. They said specifically Lady Frost and Trish Adora, they're like, they're right on the cusp there. Just need that one big win. I'm like, we'll give it to them. Why do you guys keep playing with us like that? Why did you have them beat each other in that one match? I don't know, but I digress and we'll move on. Really fun match. I think this is the type of matches that Billie Starkz wants to be involved in. She's nuts. And Lady Frost always brings kind of an excitement that other wrestlers can't really bring. So their two styles together, as we saw here, worked really well. That finish is just Billie Starkz. What are you doing? Shout out to Mouse, her pops, who says that she watches too much backyard wrestling and she tries to bring a lot of that crazy backyard wrestling stuff to the ring. And of course, me, a former backyard wrestler, I love every bit of it. I love her being kind of, she's still happy, but she's still like, what is Athena doing? But she's still like, it's Athena. This is kind of fun. It's like she's playing all these different roles. She's showing all these different emotions, but at the base of it, she's just really improving as a wrestler, I think, at the end, and being 18 and being way better than she was just a year ago, way better than she was just 6 months ago is great to see.
Let's also give credit to, I think that she was valedictorian of her high school class too.
Yeah, like what, dude?
What the hell, man?
What? Come
on.
You
know what that is? And I sound so old saying this. That's really great parents who are like,
seriously,
you can pursue your wrestling dreams, but you're going to work your ass off in school too. And she just did.
How? And she was doing like 4 matches a week sometimes, Kate, and still.
And like at GCW and shit. Yeah. Like what? Absolutely bananas. Absolutely bananas. Louise, you don't have to send us money. You're so sweet. But Louise, who has the night off and is still chiming in, says, sending some love to y'all from the road. Please tell me Athena and or Metallik wrestled tonight. So we did have Athena not wrestling, but participating. And we also did get Metallik too. Luis is home celebrating with his family on some stuff with his brother. So
Yes.
we miss him very much. It feels very different doing this without him. But have a wonderful, wonderful couple of days. He is a hard worker and a great person to have on the team. And we got Meet Normus chiming in. Hi, Meet Normus, saying Kate Elizabeth and Righteous Veg.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm the vegan here, but saying, sup, partners? Is Athena her, or are we waiting for Billie to turn? She's beaten all the other porcelain hussies. I don't think she's hurt, at least in like a she's injured way, because we haven't heard anything about that. They might be using this as an opportunity to let her rest up.
Well, they announced the match for next week. We're getting to it, I guess, eventually here. So
we are going to get to it. It's not at Wrestle Dream.
I didn't think about that.
A huge swing and a miss. Thank you very much. I don't know. I'm not getting Athena versus Sheeta at Wrestle Dream, but I digress.
Damn it.
Very annoying. But we do, that's right, we do get the match set up later. So let's get into the rest of this, because this was a lot of time tonight, which was great. We got Athena attacking Lady Frost after the match and flinging her into the barricade. Billie Starkz trying to stop her. The match is over. Relax, lady. Athena going to throw Frost into the title belt, but that's when Billie Starkz has had enough and pulls the belt away.
Yeah.
Athena's getting in her face and yelling at her like, this is how you should act if you want to be a champion. And what I love about that is this is just lather, rinse, repeat for Athena. This is what she does when she wins matches and title defenses. She beats people down after the match. So she's like, why wouldn't you listen to me? It's working for me, obviously. So I just loved all that post-match. And then we also have Billie Starkz, who's happy with her win and seems unaware that Athena was helping her with the cover, which was another really nice detail here. We got Athena coming in and is upset with her for her lack of like gusto about this. She wants to bring out that killer instinct. And Athena wanted Starkz to take note. So she's going to handle her business against Layla Hersh, which we're going to talk about her in a minute. Really, really, really good stuff here. A lot of storytelling in one match that I thought was extremely effective. Always love to see that in general. Love to see that with the women's division even more. Of course, I have a sweet spot for that. And this entire Athena run's been so special. What did you think of the post-match here?
Super strong stuff. I think got to shout out Lexi, of course, being
crushing it
in every other segment after a match. But on top of that, being great just in this little role that she's playing, the side role that she's playing along with Athena and Billie, just kind of being like the other sister being like, I'm sorry I got you in trouble. I was just trying to talk to you. And it's just like she's playing a fun little role. Starkz also being like, I got the win though, but like, what's like, I'm confused as to all this other stuff, but I did get the win and that was fun. And I had a great time, just still kind of carrying on that stuff. And Athena being like, you're still not getting it. So I'm going to have to show you next week. We're excited about this match with her and Leyla Hersh, one of the match we've been talking about ever since Leyla Hersh came back. So all this storytelling here, weave throughout the episode, I think is amazing for all of the ladies involved. And us.
Really, and us for sure. I also love that Lexi had her minion in training bestie shirt on, because let's not forget that Lexi passed her minion training and Billie did not. So cute stuff. It's such a fun and special thing in wrestling when you get to see like comedic flares thrown in with these extremely dominant champions. Like in the Christian Cage sit down yesterday, I was so impressed by the way that he was able to like add in all these like Nick Wayne's mom jokes, but also like knowing that that was going to get under Darby's skin and then like making everything extremely serious, like so seamlessly. Like I think there's not enough credit given to people who can do that in wrestling, and Athena has kind of knocked this out of the park. So good stuff here. So we'll move along to your favorites, Action Andretti and Darius Martin, defeating the Outrunners, who give us a nice promo before this match. They call themselves the best tag team in the galaxy before kind of juicing up this match against Andretti and Martin, and says, if you haven't seen the Outrunners, baby, you ain't seen nothing yet. But then they lose. They lose to Martin and Andretti, who double team Magnum before they get that like double slam for the win. Just continuing to move Martin and Andretti along. This is because it feels like they're hitting a reset button. I don't want to harp on it too much, but this is like, this is both progress and not good, right? It feels like they're hitting a reset button. So them working as a tag team is good because we're getting away from the light-skinned coalition, as you like to say.
Are we?
And you like to say because that's their name. That's who they are. They're not Top Flight. So if this is them being like, they're a tag team, I'm all for it. If they're competing across like 3 different divisions, I'm not for that. But this is perfectly suitable, and the Outrunners are a whole heck of a lot of fun. What were your thoughts on this?
Counting up the many months that Dante has been gone. So there's always that looming in the back of the thing. I really like that they are giving these guys wins. They've had a couple tag team wins together. Get them out of the trios division. They don't need to be in that division anymore until Dante comes back. Then we get into it. But before then, just let these guys be a tag team. Seems as if, I mean, now what happened with Max yesterday and the Righteous, I thought that we were going to be seeing the Kingdom as the next Ring of Honor World Champs. But now I'm like, if they have Max beat both of the Righteous guys, what does that do for anybody? Why would they do that? So I'm very confused as to what's going on. But having Action and Darius kind of looming in the background for whoever is the eventual winners, and the Outrunners getting some screen time, getting to have a little fun little time there too, I think it's great for the tag division.
So I'll throw this at you because there's Max against the Righteous, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that it's honestly just him? I think there's a couple of opportunities to do really fun stuff. And one of those fun things could be Roddy Strong trying to come to his aid. Like a can they coexist kind of thing. And Adam Cole's trying to be like, guys, just get along for one night. This could be really fun. Like, I think there's opportunities there. I don't think it's going to be MJF on his own because that just makes the Righteous look so bad. And you really can't do that to Dutch.
Please.
But who's in that potential tag partner spot for you? I feel like Roddy could be a really fun pull there.
No, I think you got it right on the money. Send your check in the mail, booking fee, all that stuff. No, that's a great idea. I didn't really think about it. Roderick Strong coming out to maybe fake it, but I'm going to help him get in there, chop, chop, chop. They're the champion still. Not a bad idea. That's actually a way to further along the story and tell that. I want that because I do not want Max to beat them in a handicap match. I hate that concept in any company, and in here doing it would be even worse.
Agreed. And I also think there's a fun thing there of Adam Cole maybe feeling a little uneasy. Like, well, if Roddy and MJF start getting along and I'm injured, what does that mean for me? Like, could be a good way to further this while he's out and feed into the insecurity. So my Roddy Strong booking is very strong of late. Okay. Because I also said you should have Adam Copeland come out and he has this huge pop and he gives us, well, actually, you know what? I think Sean even uploaded it. Is it here for me? It might be under the other brand. He says, I'm no longer Edge, though. From now on, you can call me. And then Roddy goes, Adam!
I like it. I'm in.
And then they're arguing over who's had a worse neck in their career because Lord knows Edge has. So
Edge does have that neck.
Book it right there. That's what I'm going for. But a lot of fun possibilities. And this is kind of the fun part of ROH titles being on a bigger stage is there's possibilities like that. And with so many of these guys having ties to Ring of Honor, it doesn't feel so out of place.
Right.
So good stuff there. We've got Layla, Hersh, and Laynie Luck in action. This was a glorified squash match. Nothing too bad here. But before the Code of Honor, Maria Kanellis comes out. And she's doing her I'm at the top of the stage thing. I thought Layla kind of shooed her away last week. So I think there's a little bit of confusion. But look, it's a little bit of offense here. We get Hersh popping up from a German suplex like it was no big deal. Getting the arm bar for the win. I loved in the beginning Layla Hersh offering her leg. I thought that was such a nice detail of just like, what an arrogant thing to do. I love little things like that. I think they're so much fun. That was a really fun one, and commentary did a really good job of explaining that, because if you're newer to wrestling, you're like, why would you offer that to your opponent? Like, no, it's a sign of overconfidence sometimes, right? So good stuff there. And then post-match, guess who's backstage? It's Lexi Nair with Maria. Nair asking about Bennett's tag team and Leyla Hersh interrupting here. Hersh says things have gotten messy when other people get in her business. And while Maria thinks that Leyla isn't ready for a title shot next week, the ROH board of directors does. So next week, we've got Leyla Hersh and Athena. This is really great because both sides of this title belt are being built. It's like no matter who wins and who loses, they're both going back with juice for their own stories, which I think is fantastic. It's a good way to make losses mean something. This is all great stuff. Little lazy Lady Taz looking great out there. I appreciate it. Good stuff. A quick squash, but this was a squash I didn't mind because I feel like it had a pretty strong intent behind it, Reg.
Yeah, I thought of a bunch of things while you were talking. One, they book Leyla Hersh and Josh Woods exactly the same because they're just the man and woman version of each other. So they're like, just do that, the same thing for both of them. It'll work out. And look, it worked out. They're both great. And it was a great way to showcase. If we're going to have squashes, I think these two people doing squashes is the way to go for it. Leyla Hersh, like I said, we've been talking since she came back from her injury that she's going to be one of those ones to be a contender for Athena. Now, Kate, the question is, does Leyla Hersh really have a shot here? Because also what I was thinking when you told that, you said that they could tell a story with losses, because if that Athena story, Billie Starkz is on the outside, and this is the time that Athena loses when she's trying to tell this main story to Billie Starkz, that's actually a really cool story they can also tell too, while getting the championship off of Athena and hopefully moving her up to the main roster. That's many steps ahead. But yeah, I kind of like that story. If she beats Athena, maybe Billie Starkz plays a role. Then you can still continue that. We could still have those matches, because I think at this point, I don't think anybody really wants Starkz to be the ROH Women's Champion. She could be, and it would be a great victory. But I think just her getting the comeuppance on Athena is the way to go here.
I agree with that. I'm very intrigued to see who. They've done a good job of making it feel like there's multiple possibilities. It might be Leyla Hersh. I don't think it drops on regular ROH television.
Yeah.
So I don't think if it is Leyla Hersh, I don't think it's next week. I think maybe Leyla loses, realizes she needs Maria, and Maria says, all right, I'll try and get you a rematch. Could be a fun thing there. You could also have anybody do a proving ground match and last the time. It's a very simple and easy way to get us there. But I agree with you. I don't know if Billie Starkz is your next champion. It almost feels like she doesn't need to be, but it would be an absolute flip of the switch to like a completely different style, a baby face who's super over in a completely different way that Athena's over right now. Like, I don't hate it. She's just so young that like I feel like somebody maybe a little bit more established would be a good way to go. But
let's make NXT parallels again. Didn't Roxanne Perez become the NXT women's? I mean, like, let's do it. Let's keep crossing these borders. I keep crossing these things, man. It's working over there. Let's try it over here.
It is. There are a few things. They're very few, but some things are working in NXT. And actually, to be honest, like the booking for the women isn't always great, but they get a tremendous amount of screen time, and the talent there is fantastic. So I do appreciate that about it. So we'll move along to Shane Taylor and Jimmy Jacobs returning to an ROH ring for the first time since 2015. This was very nice in his hometown of Grand Rapids. That's a really nice touch here. Reg, is that something you cared about?
What?
Is that something you like overall cared about, like Jimmy Jacobs coming back to ROH?
Oh, yeah, I thought you meant like him being in his hometown. I was like, no, I don't care about the hometown part at all. But yes, I love Jimmy Jacobs being here. Kept hearing all these things, Fightful Select, all this stuff about people being backstage, all these producers, how it is kind of in the AEW locker room, and you're like, it's like a Ring of Honor Hall of Fame shrine back there of great talented people. And you've been hearing about Jimmy Jacobs kind of being around, playing a role, maybe being really good friends with some people. And I thought eventually they got to have him wrestle, because he wasn't done here. He still does some independent dates. And so hearing about him having this match with Shane Taylor and finally seeing the match was awesome. He was Jimmy Jacobs like we know him and love him. But Shane Taylor has just been such a train of destruction that it was hard to stop him. I love the finish so much. Was frustrated because the main event finish was almost kind of the same, but I did love how they transitioned into the Marcus Garvey driver here. Made Shane look strong. But yeah, seeing Jimmy Jacobs here, anytime there's like a legend, Jimmy Jacobs, Christopher Daniels, somebody like that kind of shows the spirit of what Ring of Honor has always been. I love it.
Well, I ask if you care because I can tell you one person who did not care, and that was Shane Taylor. Holy hell. Right off the bat, I love when people do this. Like, it's this feel-good moment, whatever, and just immediately he's like, nah, I don't give a shit.
Not for me. It's not a feel-good moment for me. It's just a match.
Nope, it's just a match. It's just another obstacle in my way, but you're right in that the ending was great. We got Jacobs going for the sliced bread here, but we get Shane Taylor getting him on his shoulder and hitting the welcome to the land for the win, which was really fun. This is awesome to see Jimmy Jacobs back. I, unlike Shane Taylor, very much do care. I think it's fantastic. This is a whole bunch of fun. And knowing that we're getting Shane Taylor promotions being rebuilt with Lee, and I think there's some really interesting possibilities. Shane Taylor feeling important with some wins behind him is good because he feels important every time he's on the mic and with his presence and everything. Like he doesn't need a ton of build to feel like that guy is an integral part of what happens here. So when you back it up with some wins, that's just good news.
Totally. And it looks like they're getting a shot on Collision, which is cool too.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, happy to see that. Some healthy things going on in this product. But guys, we ask you to get in your super chats and not your humper chats because we don't have access to the humper chats today. It is just me. Got no Luis with me. But we also invite you to subscribe to Fightful Select, which now has annual billing. So much happening on there. I know there's going to be more news coming out of Wrestle Dream. What is this big new era that Tony Khan is talking about? There's so much going on. Contract news. There's more contract news coming. I think some of that got swept away and that there were cuts from WWE, but 2024 is a lot of contracts are just up. So you're going to see more turnover. There's some updates on whose contracts are ending when. Obviously, the Jade Cargill news. So a lot happening on Fightful Select. Head on over there. We'll also remind you just to stay tuned for Cresta and Joel with your Impact review. We got Trimpact in action. They're setting up some good stuff for Bound for Glory there. So really, really happy to see Impact heading in a cool direction, it feels like. We got Mate Norma saying, you missed me call you Kale earlier. Okay, my bad.
Kale Elizabeth.
Me forever. Look, I'm vegan, but I'm not that vegan. Kale is just gross.
Yeah, it's
spinach,
hard to get used to.
I can do spinach.
Put it in the smoothie, though. It's not that bad. I like
that.
it.
I can do. That I can do because it's not the flavor, it's the texture. It's like a little too bitter when it's raw. Yeah, I can't.
Right.
I can't. But we'll move on to Dalton Castle and the boys versus Ren Jones, Trenton Tormenta, and Xavier Walker. This was a quick one as well. Dalton Castle getting the bangering on Jones for the win here. This was fast. This was in and out. Where were
like, those guys, Rohit? I'm like, they weren't in Chicago, but they were St. Louis. Were they in St. Louis? Those are a lot of St. Louis guys.
Grand Rapids, right?
Okay, Michigan. Yeah, that makes
sense. We got Jimmy Jacobs there.
That makes sense. There you go. That's right.
It's ROH
connected. Though. I'm like, all these people seem pretty. I like all of them. It's great to see them. It's
Half of this could have been in Canada for all we know. I mean, it's ROH. It's been really sporadic in their taping schedules. This I will say too. I don't know what they changed up in the taping, but it felt like the energy was a little bit more consistent and there was a little bit more. I noticed it during the Gravity and Lee Johnson match. It was like, oh, people are paying attention.
Right.
And I think
they started filming before the shows instead of just after on some of the taping. So maybe that's working.
They did that when I was there for Collision 2, but I don't know. It was just a different vibe. Different vibe. And I thought the camera work was a little bit different today too. It didn't feel as much like dark. So good improvements, healthy improvements to see a little bit.
Got some good producers back there, I tell you.
Let's go. We're off and running with ROH. So your favorite tag team of all time, Cole Karter and Griff Garrison, are here. We have Lexi backstage with Griff Garrison, who was joined by Maria and Cole Karter. He is emphasizing teamwork. I like that he acknowledges that Brian Pillman Jr. has moved on. He is, of course, in ROH now. We got a Bengals vignette playing for him while he's watching TV in the dark on NXT. But I like that he emphasizes, like, hey, I still want to do things the right way here. Cole Karter, you got to get one different shirt. Just wear anything else.
That's it.
I feel
Just keep washing it and wear it again next week.
That's what happens. I think it should fade over time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we move into our match, which is against the Infantry. Good to see Trish Adora coming into play here, but they send Griff Garrison to the floor before hitting that awesome double Russian leg sweep. I love the way that they use that. And Maria has the referee distraction, but Trish Adora comes in and chases her off. So Cole Karter with the rope assisted roll up scores the win. Griff Garrison's not happy about it because he had clearly said that he wanted to do things the right way. I'm not happy for it because roll-ups suck. They're boring. It wasn't that good of a roll-up. It wasn't even like a proper O'Connor roll, I don't think. Great transitional move. I mean, if he's studying Austin Theory's moveset, that was it for a long time. WWE loves to do.
True.
Who's on the ramp? Oh, I got rolled up.
I had a lot of issues with this. What the Infantry, but the Infantry was. I can't even get it out. The Infantry was on their way, you guys. What? And then like I hate these kind of angles of like. We're a tag team. Can we coexist? Essentially, I don't even know how I'm saying that. These can we coexist tag teams? These two guys that don't know that I don't even know. Like, if you start giving them wins, do people want to see them win anyways? Why are they winning here? A lot of things wrong with this. My homie Carly Bravo on Twitter before we got on here said to flame those guys. Get these guys out of here. They're the worst tag team I've ever seen in history. Go watch TV with Brian Pillman on NXT.
So I know what's happening here, and I'm sure you know what's happening here. Who is the ROH Tag Team Champion, Reg? MJF.
Yeah.
Who is the thorn in MJF's side?
Oh, yeah. The captain.
Max is paying people off backstage to keep the Infantry away from him, because we all know the second that man puts gold on the line against Sean Dean, he's losing it.
I didn't think about that. The captain, the captain's curse is what we like to call it, actually.
Yeah, that is the in wrestling history books, that's what it's going to be called. So I'm just saying that's not a coincidence where I'm sitting.
It's things are clicking together. Now I didn't think about it, but now I'm like, oh yeah, he's scared.
It's a conspiracy theory, but it has legs. It has legs. Fears the captain. We move on, thankfully, to Heath Page talking about his win streak in ROH. I love the banter with him and Lexi. They seem very comfortable together. And he is interrupted by someone that we've been championing for a while here. Rohit Raju. We love Rohit on the show. He says he hasn't been in ROH for a while, and I love when he was like, but the door was open, so I thought I'd walk in and set myself up with a little match. His energy jumps off the screen so much, and we'll talk about it in a little bit because let's talk about it now.
Yeah, let's get right to it.
Because it wasn't that long of a match. We got Ethan Page hitting a big boot on Rohit, and then the outside in cutter, which is called the headshot, it sounds like, for the win. And I just love seeing Rohit in the ring. Like, everything he does is with his whole self. Like, he's so committed. He brings so much energy to the screen. It's awesome. I hope he sticks around ROH because he's great. He deserves to be with a consistent promotion, like on a contract, or at least working consistent dates, because he's just fantastic. And you can plug him into so many things. Like, I never would have thought like, oh, Rohit Raju in the X division, but he made it work, right? Like,
sure did.
Such good stuff here. And I just, even in the promo, like, Lexi and Ethan have such a wonderful chemistry. And then you got Rohit coming into the picture and kind of keeping that going. Like, all very playful here. Serviceable match. This was doing what it needed to do to escalate Ethan Page along a little bit. But I love seeing Rohit get some eyeballs and some reps. I have so much love for the guy. Your thoughts on the segment and the match?
Yeah, I think Rohit is so good, man. Like, there's a lot of wrestlers that are like really good at some things. Really, this guy's like on both sides of the coin, whether it's offense, whether it's defense. Like you said, he's 100% in everything that he does. Even in this little bit of time with Ethan Page, you can see how good he is. Like the way that he spins, his timing, his footing, like everything that he does, he's just really good. If you know anything about Ethan Page and Rohit's history, it's also really cool because they're friends and stuff, and they go and eat hamburgers at Arby's together and stuff like that. Go and get wrestling figures together. I'm just exposing their business. Danhausen's there sometimes. Great. No, so this is really cool. In the promo, Ethan Page was giving him shit, saying like, "Oh, like here you get all your little promo time you can right here, because I'm gonna destroy you when it gets to the match." Ethan Page just being kind of, he looks so big, man. I think that's something that people don't know when you see him against some of these wrestlers. Like, damn, like Ethan Page is a big guy, dude.
Big
like,
dude. Yeah.
He's I don't know why he hasn't had more. So I'm happy to see that here in ROH, he's finally getting to talk every time. He's getting to show exactly who he is. And then here against Rohit is great. I want to see Rohit here much more. Sign him to a contract, do something, because he's great.
This is a Rohit Stan account. Thank you. We love Big Rohit time. Here. I noticed Ethan Page's size. I've been aware of it because you look at him and you're like, you're 6'1", and then you see him and you're like, no, you're like 6'3", 6'4" at least. Yeah. Like he's a big dude. Noticed it in his world title match with MJF. Like there was a pretty, I think MJF's like probably 5'10", 5'11"-ish. Mm-hmm. Noticed the size difference there, and I was like, oh, he's got like that extra kind of kick, and in AEW it stands out a little bit more, I think.
It does.
But good stuff. Well, we get some more great women's action here. And we got some love for it in the chat. Thank you so much, ROH.
Yeah, this was hot.
This was great. This was I loved all of this. The chat saying, any match involving Allysin Kay and Mercedes Martinez makes me happy. And what also makes me happy is Reg and Kate reviewing ROH. So happy wrestling. Thank you. We love doing it. Even when it's not our favorite show, it's our favorite show. So
totally.
Really fun stuff here. We get a couple of backstage promos leading into this. Very glad that Allysin Kay feels important kind of off the bat. Like she's being presented in such a way that
a contender.
For sure. Yep. For sure. So we got Lexi with Allysin Kay, and Allysin Kay says that she hated the fact she was on a losing streak, but is ready for Mercedes tonight. And then on the flip side of this, we get Lexi, of course, the hardest working woman around here, backstage with Mercedes and Diamante later in the episode, saying that she's beaten Allysin Kay over and over in the past, and she's going to continue that trend tonight. Not Matt Taven trend, but the trend of beating her. This was really, really fun. And by the way, Diamante is looking strong. I did not realize how jacked she was, but my goodness. She comes into play here at the finish, which I liked because it keeps Allysin Kay protected a little bit. She hits Kay with the wheelbarrow cutter on the floor, which allows Mercedes Martinez to grab the win with the Fisherman's Buster. Love the submission that she normally uses. This Fisherman's Buster looks great. She is an ass-kicking woman. And when she has a dance partner the size of Allysin Kay in there, like someone who's strong, oh, it's so much fun. These two went at it. This was a blast of a match. I like that we had a couple, I never thought I'd say this, I like we had more substantive women's matches and a fewer less of them.
Yes.
Because I don't need to see Trisha Dora lose to someone for no reason just to get more matches on the card, right? Like, feels like we have two important arcs brewing right now. I love to see that. What did you think of this match and the couple promos we got beforehand?
I love that they have Faith and AK to give her promo time, to continue to give her promo time, because I think she's a pretty strong promo. We see a lot of women's wrestlers on here, Kate, and men's wrestlers too, that don't get promo time because for whatever reason, it's the format. But knowing that her pedigree and what she has and that she can promo, them having faith in her and keep giving her promo time, I think is great. And this match, I don't know if this is PC to say, but this might have been big meaty women slapping meat in here.
We were trying to figure out the female equivalent of that the other day.
I'm like, what is it? Because I don't know what it is, but whatever it is, this match was it right here.
Strong ass women kicking ass is what it was.
Strong ass women kicking ass. I like that. Mercedes, we might have to we gotta like put two names in a hat and draw one out who could keep Mercedes, because this is gonna get a little bit crazy here very soon, I think.
It's true.
Because every time I hear it, I'm like, Mercedes is there, and then I'm like, oh, Martinez. Okay,
I
okay.
know. I
Y'all
like
keep
Pop.
freaking me out.
And I love Mercedes Martinez too.
She's great.
Like the, yeah.
Yeah. No, she's amazing. It's never like, oh, that sucks. It's always like, oh, okay, that works too.
Like,
But
right, yeah.
The first thing I'm like, Mercedes Moné, oh yeah, we're lit. So I don't know, we're gonna have to figure this thing out. But yeah, big meaty women slapping meat. They slapped the meat. This was great. Allysin Kay is just brooding. She's on top. She's on fire. Diamante was great here in the second role. Mercedes Martinez is just a veteran that no matter what kind of fire you try to bring to her, she just has an answer for legit everything. It's rare in any matches that she's had in AEW where it feels like she's lost in there or like she's not going to win. Like it's rare that she's in peril, but it's not like it's not bad though. It's like in a good way. It like plays into her character of like,
yes.
No matter what, she's a badass, and you better do everything that you can to beat her.
Yeah, she has a great deal of certainty behind her, and it makes it because you buy into it, so it doesn't feel like she's to lose. So when she does lose, you're like, oh damn.
Exactly.
Right. A couple more chats coming in for you guys as we're coming down the home stretch here. Stick around for the Impact post show as well. We got Cresta and Joel coming on to bring you all of that good fun. Norma saying, happy wrestling and new AL East Division champions, the Baltimore Orioles. Only took 10 years. I'm doing the Daniel Garcia and Prince Nana until I drop. Look, if anybody's earned it, it's Orioles fans. My goodness.
Is Cal Ripken still playing? Cal Ripken Jr.?
He is not still playing. He retired like 20 years ago or so.
Okay. I was about to say, good for him. Good for Cal Ripken Jr.
Good for Cal Ripken Jr. I think he works in like on the little.
He's there.
He's around.
Yeah.
He's just there. Always. He's still playing. The streak is still going for all we know. Ronald Hollick saying, being Collision and Rampage are booked for 3 weeks in a row in November. Do you think ROH tapings will move to Dynamite?
Oh, Collision and Rampage are booked together for a lot of the California shows. Yeah, I don't know exactly what they're gonna do there with that.
Maybe this is the big new era that Tony Khan is talking about. It's literally just ROH just flipping to Dynamite. Great.
New era for us, maybe.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I'll ask Sean about that because that's something that he could probably find out pretty easily.
True.
Well, speaking of doing the Prince Nana dance, we get him out here doing heel stuff, all right? I know the dance is super over, but my God, if he is stealing the sauce out here, we get the Iron Savages, Boulder and Bronson with Jack Jameson, who adds a lot to this, man. What a blast he's been to have around here. Defeating, Gates of Agony out here. I'm intrigued by this. We get a promo earlier where Prince Nana says that we're keeping Gates of Agony back on track. So cutting to the finish, we've got Bronson going for a sip of that Savage sauce, man, but Nana takes it away from him. Leona hits a pounce on Jameson on the floor. The Gates hit Bronson with the gates. There's so much to say the word gates. Gates hit Bronson with the gates to score the win here. I understand wanting to keep them strong.
Yes.
But I feel like the Iron Savages have been on the up and up here. So I don't know why you have them losing unless they're going to turn around and get another shot, which does not feel like the move. It kind of feels like we're setting up for the Hung Bucks versus the Dark Order in all likelihood. Or, to your point, maybe Dante Martin's on the way back. But, I don't think we're turning around for a title shot. So I don't know why this got booked the way it did. It might have just been a match to be a sake of the match. But it doesn't bug me when we have actual substantive things going on in the show for a change. But I was just like, oh, all right. Good for them for staying strong. But I was like, didn't they lose so that they could be on AEW programming now? This was a little confusing. But your thoughts on this?
Yeah, maybe they're just trying to tie those loose ends that they have going on there. Beyond that, I think the match was really good, though. Yeah. It was a big meaty man slapping meat tag match. Iron Savages are... I thought that what I said earlier, the commentators playing a role in kind of furthering along the stories, played a role here as Ian was kind of describing that the Iron Savages have been getting some wins, but they've also been having some losses. But anytime that they lose, they look really good in the losses. So they're kind of telling the stories that they're contenders. If you kind of say it out loud, the people will believe it too. So I think that's what happens here. The Gates of Agony, maybe I think could be moving into just being a tag team. That's more along the lines that they're talking about. So I'm kind of into that, but them as a trios and going back to that, I'm not really interested in it.
No, I agree with you on that entirely. We'll see what's to come. I feel like it feels like ROH is refinding its footing in like a more substantive way than it has.
Yeah.
So I have a little more patience for little things like this because they feel more like glitches in a program that makes sense versus what is happening, what division are any of these people even fighting in, etc. So
right.
So that brings us to the main event. Thank you so much for the support tonight. We will be handing it off to our Impact crew right after this as they gear up for Bound for Glory, because it wouldn't be a week without an Impact special or pay-per-view around the corner. But this is Brian Cage defeating Metallik for some reason, which is fine. You get Metallik with a beautiful Hurricane Rana, but Cage dropping him with the drill claw for the win. Just keeping Brian Cage strong here. Feels very much like, well, these guys are in the back. Let's throw them out back to back here. Love seeing Metallik continue to show up. He's one of my favorites in the luchador area because I just feel like everything is so logically executed with him and done with such precision. I love seeing him in the ring, and he has such a good chemistry with people of different styles. Like his man, I feel like wrestling Xavier Jr. is a cheat code, but like seeing him do that versus seeing him with Brian Cage versus seeing him with other luchadors, like he can just adapt so versatilely with any ring style. And that's what I kind of got out of tonight. Like he knew how to make Brian Cage look great, but still feel competitive in this match, which I really liked. I will say stronger episode. Still would be nice to have champions around. Like this is just weird to have this as a main event.
What are those?
But headed in the right direction. What did you think of what closed out the night here for us?
Yeah, I think along those lines of what I was talking about with the commentators, it feels like maybe they're trying to set Brian Cage up for a singles thing because they talk pretty highly about him being pretty active. He hasn't lost on Honor Club TV, they said, and that kind of led me to believe that he was going to win this match here, which he did. Metallik walked Brian Cage's back into a code red at one point, which was super dope. He set a little commentator's rope. He set Metallik up on the ropes, and Caprice is like, "You set him up on the ropes. He's a rope walker. Why would you do this?" Just little things like that, I think that are great. But beyond it not really making a ton of sense, it's still Metallik and Brian Cage, and I thought that they had a really fun match. Brian Cage always works really well with these luchadors like this. Code red spots like that happen. Like I said, this finish was kind of like the Jimmy Jacobs and Shane Taylor one from earlier. So I was like, damn.
Yeah.
But still, it's still a inverted pile driver that's disgusting looking. True. So cool shit.
This was giving Lucha Underground. I look forward to some fresh matchups for Brian Cage. Maybe we can get him and Willie Mack finally. We can give the people what they want, but we're going to give the people what they want, the Impact people who have been waiting here patiently for us as we went a couple minutes over, but not too shabby. We've got the beautiful Cresta star, and also Joel is here.
Wow.
How are you guys?
Used to it. What can I say? Reg, get the car. Saturday, January 13th. We're bringing it back. Battle in the Valley, New Japan.
Oh, yeah. They just announced that. When did they announce that?
Just announced it. Tickets on October
5th. Just what I need, Joel. More wrestling.
Well, yeah, your wrestle dreams are just more wrestling.
Honestly, yeah, pretty much. That's how it's working out. That's awesome, though. I'm very excited about that. That's going to be dope.
Yeah, it's going to be really fun stuff.
Look at Cresta's cool shirt.
Yes, I had to do something. I'm in the Cresta Star family compound right now. I'm doing 10 days hard time.
Hey.
So I don't got a green screen, so I can wear green makeup for a change. I wear all my shirts that have the green and the different textures in it. That y'all can see Blanca and not digitized. It looks pretty cool.
There you go.
There she goes.
Cresta as seen on Grapsody, huh?
Hey, great. Again,
connection.
thank you for joining us. That was amazing. You're the best.
Like literally that came together in like 30 minutes. I woke up early because my grandma only goes to church on Saturdays. He said, I'm not going, it's raining. So somebody had tagged me, was like, hey, Cresta, you want to do Grapsody? I was like, Nah.
Yep.
But let me slide it to Phil and Reg's DMs right quick.
One thing led to another, and we were there, and we did it.
I love
It was a lot of fun. It was long. I didn't realize I could talk about wrestling that long, but now that I realize that, it was fun. It was a good time. It was like a cookout.
Every time I do
1,000%.
I didn't know I could talk about wrestling that long. Kate goes 2.5 hours on her own.
I love your shirt, Kate.
Oh, thank you.
It's very much Where's Waldo.
It is.
I love it.
It's my backup Halloween costume if I ever need it. You know what I mean? Just go out and get some glasses and a beanie, and I'm good to go.
Or you could be good guy Freddy instead of getting people. You
Good guy Freddy.
There you go.
You show up in their dreams instead of their nightmares.
There you go.
And give them a present instead of nightmares.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. What was good on Impact tonight? Anything good?
Main event was so good, but that's again, I'm a show for women's wrestling, so.
Yeah,
who was in the main event?
Gisele Shaw and Trinity had a really solid match.
That's
We set up Bound for Glory. It's official. It's going to be Trinity and Mickie James for that knockout skill.
Wow, that card is set up be pretty crazy so far, huh?
Kenta has been announced. He's official.
Yeah, that was
CM Punk showing up in the Impact Zone.
Stop, knock it off.
Kenta's gonna do the Pepsi plunge. It's gonna be great.
If they do that match in Impact and not AEW, I will cry.
I'm gonna pop.
Kenta's match is not against Mr. Punk. He's got another.
Kenta is gonna lock in the Anaconda Vice on CM Punk and go over in the Impact Zone. That's what's
I need you to know that now in my mind I'm seeing Kenta versus Chris Sabin, and at the end when Kenta won't let go, all you hear is
y'all tripping. Impact can't afford that.
Oh, but if they do, I need you to know I'm coming up here like what's his name who used to be on the Sports Center, the guy with the he used to do Skip Bayless, that guy, the other guy.
Even A?
No, the other guy.
Shannon Sharp?
Yeah, that's gonna be me. I'm gonna act a whole mess on every Impact show. I think I'm gonna pull a Sean Ross Sapp and come with a blunt in my mouth and be like, hey, we eat good over here.
Yes.
I will have to quit the ROH post show because I'll be needing to watch CM Punk real time. That would be too wild.
Honestly.
Too wild.
Joe's gonna get bumped.
Throw it on over to you guys and get out of your hair, especially because we were a couple minutes behind already. But looking forward to hearing about what's shaping up to be a strong Bound for Glory. Very good stuff. It's
going to be good. We're looking forward to it. And Ring of Honor, good tonight? Yeah.
That's fun. I liked it. They're
it's
moving forward.
In the right direction. Yeah.
Okay. Forward's good. Better than what it was for a while.
Aimless.
Right.
It was aimless. It feels like they have a plan now, which is refreshing. So
that's good. We'll take it. Yeah.
Let's go.
Sweet. All right. Peace,
rock and roll, guys. Have fun.
Let's do it. Okay. I got to fix my camera as I do every week.
Same.
Look at us. Look at us, hey?
I don't want to look at us. My lighting. This looks like it's 1994, 97. I got the bright lights.
I love that backlighting. My God, Cresta.
The lighting for me is something like this. Like, you can't tell my lipstick. It makes my lips look ashy. It looks like that's how bright it is. And it's not even that bright. It's just overhead lighting.
That's the overhead light. I turn mine. Sometimes I turn it on, but like I've got 2 studio style lights right here that are, they're okay. Like,
I mean, it is what it is. The things I do for you guys at Fightful, I bring my whole computer to the Cresta Star family compound.
Good on you. I've got my, and you know what? When I do ITW, when I do In the Weeds, because it's in the middle of the day, it's in the morning, I don't even need the lights. It's nice. I've got a window right in front of me. I can do the solid lighting, but good on you, Cresta. You're here. We're going to work. We're going to do it.
I love wrestling. I was going to watch it anyway, so what about
I just would have watched it later. But anyway, you ready to go?
Yes.
Hello, friends. We're back again. It's Fightful.com, and it's time for your Impact Wrestling Post Show, September 28th, 2023. I am at Joel Pearl, and of course, as always, from a new location, one of which has many people wondering, where is she tonight? Where could she be? She looks like she's in the lap of luxury, but not in the basement of Sean Ross Sapp. Cresta Star joins us. How you doing, Cresta?
I'm okay. I'm actually upstairs from where George Iceman films his BTI segments.
You know what's funny is that so whatever's behind you, and audio listeners, I'm sorry, but there's like 20 of you anyway. The whatever's behind you, like in the shot, when you're close up, it just looks like just white background.
Oh, yes, this is Cresta from the future. Help me. I'm stuck inside of a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Please.
Look at LL Cool J video from 99.
Listen, it is what it is. What can I do?
It's all right. We got plenty going on tonight. Impact was a solid show. I mean, they're really, really, really wanting us to believe and know, and they're stacking up Bound for Glory, and we're 3 weeks away. These are the tapings from Memphis for the next 3 weeks. And listen, I can tell you a lot came out of it, and a lot of big matches are coming to be added. Tonight, we got one in the main events tonight. We had Trinity and Mickie James made official for the Knockouts World Championship. We're going to talk about all that. We got plenty more. But first, of course, if you're here, go ahead, leave a thumbs up on the video and subscribe to us here at youtube.com/Fightful. If you've done that, wonderful, and you want to support us even further, go over to FightfulSelect.com. Best $5 in the business, or best, what is it, $51 for a year? Something like that. There's an annual subscription offer right now. And you know what's even better? You're getting a silly amount off so that you get basically 2 months free on your subscription. So go to FightfulSelect.com and get in on that now if you haven't already. And of course, you can donate a super chat. Any amount, get your question statement read on the air. And then if you want to do even more than that, you can donate a Humper Chat. And Crest is going to tell you how, because I got to log into the Humper Chat system.
While Joel logs into Humper Chats, to make sure we get all of your Humper Chats, you take your fingers or your thumbs if you're on your mobile device, and you go to humperchats.com. That's humperchats.com. You type in your dollar amount. Let's say you want to give us $50 and say, hey, Joel, when's Steve Macklin's birthday? I know you know that. And then you type that in your little comment section. We get to keep a little bit more of the money. We're happy. You're happy. Joel's maybe happy because he loves Steve Macklin. That's his favorite wrestler. Humperchats.com.
Do I know Steve Macklin's birthday?
I don't. I don't know. I now associate you and Steve Macklin. Y'all are synonymous. You and Scott DeBoer and Steve Macklin.
Macklin knows my birthday, unfortunately, but I don't know his. That makes me feel like the shitty friend. We're not even friends. Let's face it. I hate the man.
Don't feel bad, because I was on Twitter, and side note, Flash Morgan Webster had tweeted something. He got to watch his back. He's getting older. I'm like, this young man is 21. What do you mean he's getting older? I looked it up. He's 34, 33. I was upset. Yeah. He looks like Darby Allin's protege. Nick Wayne, he looks young. He looks so young. I'm like, bless you, young man. I ain't going to tell you that, but waving my fist at you.
It's that beardless wonder, man. I'm telling you. And on top of that, you know, everyone's talking about Julia Hart over at AEW right now because she's 21. And or maybe 23. Either way, she's 21, and she's about to have a match against Chris Statlander at Wrestle Dream. But on top of this whole thing, like, people are saying, oh, what about in 10 years? How good is she going to be when she's like 3 years younger than Britt Baker is now? And I'm like, no,
stop saying these things. Stop saying these things. Like, please. I already have to deal and reconcile with the little baby Dom who was blonde, almost got sacrificed or wrestled for on a pole, is now out here with a full mullet North American champion. Please, stop. Stop.
But don't stop sending in those super chats, because the first one tonight for us comes from ROH saying, Cresta is my spirit animal. Joel Pearl is part of my weekday morning routine on In the Weeds. Of course, check that out. Fightful Overbooked, that's our sister channel. Easy for me to say. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, myself and Jeremy Lambert go In the Weeds. And that main event tonight on Impact, wowza, baby. It was a very, very good match. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. Let's start it off, Cresta. We got to talk about BTI. We got to talk about our pal. We got to talk about George Iceman. And he's talking about someone trying to sneak attack Trinity. And I'm like, wow, you're trying to raise the alarm bells for Trinity. Says someone new or a former star returning tonight, but Trinity, watch out. And I'm like, this is fantastic.
Over the top.
Yeah, over the top George Iceman. And of course, he's in the coffee shop, so he can't be too loud, but for some reason, he's still loud enough. Anyway, Laredo Kid and Black Taurus take on the team of Sami Callihan, Rich Swann. By the way, Sami Callihan announcing this week that he's going to be a free agent as of the 30th. So that's in 2 days. Fightful Select broke the story that Callihan is finishing up with Impact. There was a talk of doing some, maybe having a new contract, but I guess not, because it looks like Callahan's going to be testing free agency. Either way, what happens to Luchadors and Impact, Cresta Star?
They get pinned, and I don't like that. Respect for the Luchadors. Impact got no respect. No respect.
None at all. Swan and Callahan win. Swan pins Laredo Kid with the D450 combo from Swan and Callahan. Listen, it works in that we're building a win ahead of a big tag team match before Sammy's impending Impact departure. And that's fine. I like Sami Callihan. I don't always love the character, but knowing what we know, it's like it's a bittersweet pill, but we'll all swallow it together, just like Yuya, and we'll talk about Yuya soon.
That was a segment that made me want to go directly into Impact Wrestling and lace up my boots and fight for his honor. So it was frustrating, but it was good, but it was frustrating.
You have anything else to add about that BTI match?
Except the only thing I have to add is when Black Taurus got yeeted over the top rope, Gia Miller said, "Holy cow."
Oh, yeah, and then she's like, not literally.
Gia Miller is my favorite commentator of the year, because honestly, the oblivious straight man role she plays is perfection. She's such a good commentator.
She's going to be doing an appearance. She's going to be doing commentary for the local Destiny promotion that runs here in Mississauga and just outside of Toronto. So looking forward to what she brings to the commentary table there, because I'm sure it'll be just as good as what we see on Impact.
Her and Veda Scott would be chaos, and I would live for that commentary booth.
I want to know who would call the moves and who would make bold comments.
You get Excalibur.
Mile a minute.
Listen, somebody got to do it. Excalibur will give you Bound for Glory, Wrestle Dream, and WrestleMania nice card in 60 seconds.
Yeah, the whole thing. Anyway, Impact opens up with the X Division Championship match between Alan Angels and Chris Sabin. It's good. You know what? Good showing by Alan Angels. He does not win, but he does exactly what we said he would do, Cresta. He kicked the guy right in the dick.
I don't know why he just doesn't change his finisher to Yam Bag Shuffle or the Ascended Yam Bag or something at this point.
It doesn't matter. It didn't work. It was good. Angels going after the arm on Sabin the whole time was fun stuff.
Yes.
They do some good stuff. He tries for the dick punch, the Halo strike. And Sabin kicks out, and then Sabin hits that top rope missile drop kick and gets the cradle shot, gets the win. But the big story, Cresta Star, is not Alan Angels losing or Chris Sabin retaining. It's Kenta is coming back at Bound for Glory, and it's official. They've announced it. Impact X Division Championship match, Bound for Glory, Kenta versus Chris Sabin for that X Division title. Looking forward to that. What do you think of the match, and what's your reaction to Sabin and Kenta?
I have to tell you, the match itself was good. Every time that Alan Angels would put Chris Sabin in, it looked like the Venus de Milo. But that's just because, again, I'm a shill for women's wrestling. So anytime I see something that looks kind of like a women's, I'm calling it that. It was great. I kind of thought it was going to work. But it didn't. Kenta coming back, I have to say that I audibly was like, yes. But at the same time, I was kind of memeing in the beginning of the show, and I said, if Kenta versus Sabin results in CM Punk showing up, let me say that I don't believe that that's going to happen. And I high-key don't believe the words that are coming out of my mouth, okay? But if it does, because anytime I feel like Kenta, unfortunately, is synonymous with CM Punk because of his hate, his fake hate, shoot hate. I'm popped. Sabin versus Kenta is going to be amazing. But does that mean Kenta's going to get the X Division champion? Is Kenta staying around in Impact? Either way, I'm winning. And I get to cover this show on Thursdays. I'm the winner here. I'm so excited for Kenta.
And Kenta lives stateside. He never left the U.S. So if anything, he could win. He could stick around. He could do it. But we'll see. I'm looking forward to the match. You've got Chris Sabin, who's been around Impact for ever and ever on men. And you've got Kenta, who's been around the business forever and ever on men. it might be time. It might be time to have Kenta come do a little X Division championship reign. But we also just did that with Lio Rush. So I don't know if they want to move the title over so quickly. I'd rather maybe they stick around with somebody for a little bit longer.
I'm going to keep putting this out into the universe. Y'all get sick of me. I know how people feel about CM Punk, but I also think about the longevity of Impact Wrestling. If it somehow happens and everyone gets along, I'm going to, what's all the good luck charms? So can I cross it? Everyone, if everyone gets along, that would be such a huge pop for Impact, because I can see the impact, no pun intended, Trinity's having. That pop for her when she came out was crazy. And I want more eyes on everybody on Impact. So listen, sometimes people aren't bigger than professional wrestling, but if you got a little buzz, come on, Impact Wrestling. But, again, I don't believe the words are coming out of my mouth. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it'll ever happen. I'm excited for Kenta. But anytime you mention Kenta, always in the back of your mind, you're like, who going to go to sleep, though?
Hey, you know what? Nobody knows what CM Punk's situation is. He mentioned something on a bare knuckle, no, not bare knuckle fight, but an MMA show that he was doing. And yeah, he made a joke about 2 months, but let's face it, you never really know until you know.
This is professional wrestling. Everything's a work until it's not. Exactly.
Nobody knows what kind of non-compete, if any, he has. So let the speculation run rampant, I say.
Choo, I'm on the train. I'm Prince Nana on the train.
And you know what? Here's something worth mentioning on the CM Punk train. And I don't like going on too much about CM Punk, but if he goes to Impact, there's like 3 things that immediately jump out to me. One, his schedule works for the Impact schedule, because Impact only needs you 2-3 times a month. It's not much. That's an easy in and out, and you only got to go for the big events, so you could bring them in once in a while, bring them in for the big pay-per-views, not for the Impact Plus shows. Give them a payday. Number 2, like I said, payday. It proves that Impact really does have some cash behind them. We don't know who's funding Impact. That's been a long time of conversation, or not who's funding, where the money continues to be made, because we know who funds them, we know who owns them, but we don't know how this shit continues to run.
Listen, don't ask questions you don't want the answer to.
That's what I'm afraid of, and I've always wanted to ask Scott Demore, can you show me just a balance sheet, something? How do y'all make money?
He's gonna hit you with the Stokely Hathaway, hand you a piece of paper that says "Mind your business."
Pretty much. He's gonna be like, yeah, here, and it's just gonna be like STF. Come on, man.
The moment you finish reading that, he gonna do this to you at STF.
Anyway, and then number 3, Punk showing up in Impact would be a vote of confidence for Impact Wrestling. It would be a vote of confidence that people could that people could go there. So who knows?
I just want, again, I like all the new attention that big names bring to Impact, because I think Impact is a superb product. So, I'm with it. I could see it. Kenta being here, like I said, sometimes some people are synonymous with us. Like when I hear Eddie Kingston, I'm always going to think of Claudio Castagnoli and vice versa. So, I ain't mad at it. Sabin versus Kenta is going to slap. So again, I'm the winner. Me. Impact Wrestling booked that for me.
and I see in the chat there people like, stop talking about Punk coming to Impact. Here's the reality. There were people who didn't want Trinity coming to Impact, but there were also a lot of people who saw the benefit in Trinity coming to Impact and the eyes that came with that. It's not about gatekeeping Impact, because that's not whatever. Don't need to do that. Instead, the focus would be a big star like Punk brings eyes to a product that a lot of people aren't watching as much anymore.
True, and it'll put a different set of eyes. And someone like me who didn't watch Impact before, watching it now, I'm a fan. And I think if more people just watched it, you would be a fan too. Everybody in here, we're all Impact loyal. I think that's pretty obvious. But some people still have that notion, like, you still watch Impact? Oh my God, Impact. Whether you like him or you love him, he would bring eyes to the product. And God damn it, that's what I want. That's what we're out here shilling Impact every Thursday. Okay, that's what we want.
Someone in the chat saying, I wouldn't be surprised if the show stays alive because someone keeps buying a lottery ticket and winning.
Honestly, we all know it's the shadow card. funded Impact
Oh.
because they love Impact Wrestling because people get to go to the Shadow Realm. They get to meet their favorite wrestlers.
That's right. Well, Alex Shelley's not going to the Shadow Realm. He's standing by with Gia Miller, and they've announced it's Alex Shelley versus Josh Alexander bound for glory for the World Championship. And Shelley says, I respect Josh Alexander, but the championship is mine. I am the face of the company until Josh Alexander steps up and takes this title from me. I like this idea that Alex Shelley is the heel in this match, but I'm now wondering, Chris Sabin and Kenta's going to be the bad guy. So Motor City Machine Guns as like a team are good guys, but apart, one's a good guy, one's a bad guy. It's a very strange kind of situation that they found themselves in that they're going to maybe have to rectify after they lose their titles or they reconvene as a tag team. Anything to add to the Alex Shelley and Josh Alexander announcement?
Nothing really. I really feel like Shelley is putting a lot of pressure on himself, feeling like, well, y'all are just waiting for me to lose the title. I think it's unnecessary pressure, but I think that also comes with winning the World Impact Champion. They put a lot of pressure on themselves, so.
It's true. I mean, Steve Macklin actually did mention that in an interview recently, that he put a lot of undue stress on himself being Impact World Champion, and that that hit him real hard when he was trying to be the guy, and then he got injured, and there's a lot coming from that interview.
I'll say the same about Alexander, because Alexander put a lot of unnecessary stress on himself being champion.
Actually, it's funny. You know where that interview's from? That's from Cody Deaner's interview from his podcast. So go check that out. Deaner interviewing Steve Macklin. Listen, I hate Steve Macklin, but I begrudgingly am interested in Steve Macklin's career. Okay?
Hey, listen, we love Steve Macklin. We got heat now. I don't got heat. Joe Pearl got heat.
Lady, you're the one who got me heat because you said once that you found him bland, and now he thought it was me, and I have to speak for both of us because I host this show.
See, you don't know the art of tapping, because if he looked at me real stern, I'll be like this. This is my finisher move called the bird wings. Flap away, flap away.
Well, Jack Price probably thought he could flap away because he got beat the shit out of by Rhino. His first match in 4 months, gets the win. And but really, Steve Macklin again. He shows up, he attacks Rhino, and before Rhino can gore Steve Macklin escapes like a coward. I have nothing to add about Rhino and Jack Price, but Macklin and Rhino sounds like a fun time.
Yes. I literally wrote Rhino versus Jack Price, poor Jack Price, and then gore Rhino wins. I mean, I low-key forgot he worked there. But good for you getting on TV. Good for you. I feel like the last time we saw you was BTI and you were winning and then you disappeared. Things happen. Rhino versus Steve Macklin. If it gives Steve Macklin back on the path to Josh Alexander and Macklin too, which I wouldn't hate, to be honest with you, and I wouldn't hate Speedball Macklin too either, just putting that out there. I'm not against it, but Rhino killed that man. That's not funny, but that's my note. Jack Price was ill prepared.
He needed his buddy Shogun to come and help out.
He needed something. He needed a taser. Yeah, I'm sorry. Rhino got to get the Goldberg treatment.
Could you imagine? Anyway, Tasha Steele's in the back. She's back. She's going to take over. And then it walks Deonna Purrazzo, welcomes her back to the fold. And she's like, you know what? We've done it all. So why don't we do it all again together? And I like this. This is a nice team that's starting to form between Tasha Steele and Deonna Purrazzo. I really wish it was Deonna and Gisele, because then I have a lot of victory laps to take. Really awkward ones, but really fun ones. What do you think? Tasha Steele's Deonna Purrazzo potentially challenging even for the Knockouts tag titles down the line. What do you think of that?
Initially, I was like, okay, whatever. Don't hate it. But now that I think about it a little bit more, I'm not upset at this. It gives Deonna and Tasha Steele's something to do away from Trinity. And I think right now Trinity is so hot, and especially here on this channel, even like, where's Tasha Steele's? Where's Tasha Steele? So I can imagine if Tasha Steele's challenges for that title, it's going to be a credible, we might put it on Trinity. So that's probably maybe coming a little bit later. But Tasha Steele's and Deonna Purrazzo as a tag team, let's see where it goes. Let's see where it goes. Sorry, Shataraj. You know you're about to get beat up. I'm sorry.
Hey, all I'm saying is, FightfulSelect.com, we had news on Deonna Purrazzo's contract situation months ago. So maybe that's all going to play into what's happening next, okay? You don't know until you know. FightfulSelect.com, we had the info. Let's talk about the Edwards. We're doing more of this. Eddie Edwards is like, Tracy Brooks, you beat Lisha Edwards. Frankie Kazarian, you didn't beat me. And then Frankie walks in. He's like, you know what? You're right. I didn't beat you. So let's have another match, this time in the ring. And I'm like, stop it. Stop it now. Frankie's going to go to management and get this taken care of. I already know what the match is. I read the spoilers and everything. But what do you think? Are you excited for Frankie versus Eddie Edwards part 15?
This is officially crossed over into Honor No More territory for me. And I don't care. I literally, I don't know if y'all can see that, but I wrote, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Like, don't get me wrong. I like the delivery of this promo from both people. But I thought we ended this with the Killer Kowalski. I thought we ended this before that. And that was my first mistake. I was out here thinking. I'm kind of, what are we fighting for again?
Yes.
I'd be okay if it was just a match for match sake, but you're really trying to force something with it.
It feels to me like the winner of this feud is going to try and challenge for the X Division or the World Championship. Fine by me, as long as somebody wins and says, okay, I went through this person, I did it, now I deserve a title shot because I beat someone who's had a long career in and out of Impact. That's fine with me. I'm just ready for this to move. Frankie hasn't done shit since, it's been months. I can't even pinpoint anymore, but it's been months.
The last time he did something to me that was of note is when he did that run talking about how he's never been the Impact World Champion and he's always been close to the big one, but never won the big one. And then I feel like it's been him and Eddie Edwards and Alisha Edwards and Tracy Brooks. And I liked the mixed tag match, but I think after that, you're literally trying to get blood from a stone. And I don't know if there's anything left here. I'm always trying to find like, what's the end game? What can we do to improve this? But I think there was a natural, nice little bow end at the Killer Kowalski match. If that's what you were going to force it, I don't know what are we doing? Again, what are we fighting over?
Here's the thing. So in the Impact world, there's always something for somebody. We've discussed this very often, especially in wrestling, just in general. This is one of those things where if I'm Impact Management or if I'm writing the show, this is my throwback content. This is my, rewarding the long-term viewers, having a long-term story that's really evolved over time. I will give Impact that. This story has evolved. It does sometimes feel like they've spun their wheels. And again, a few missteps, but like there is a story in there and it's not a bad story. Just, I can tell you it's not for me, but I'm certain that there are people who are watching it who are like, this is really good stuff. The story exists. And for some people, that's all they need is a story. I'm one of those people, by the way, who really is, he wants a story to get involved in and invested in a match. It just doesn't do anything for me that there's no stake other than Eddie and Frankie are of the same class of wrestler.
I mean, I honestly, I'd rather see Alisha Edwards and Tracy Brooks wrestle. If it, again, I'm a women's wrestling show, but I think this is some of Alisha Edwards' best work. For me, this is Vicky Guerrero levels of annoying, and that's superb. That's peak heel work. There's nothing wrong with that. Like Karen Jarrett levels that he annoying. Great. I feel like there was a natural cap off for the men. And especially with Tracy Brooks about to get inducted, just let him beat up Alisha for a couple of the 5-7 minutes, just throw that girl around for a couple. And then Alisha get her licks in with the kendo stick. The third Edwards is.
And I agree with you. That's kind of like where you could go. You could do Tracy and Lish again. Also, again, Lish is doing her best character work.
I love this.
She's leaned into it, and I think that there are people who are like, she is one of those people. She deserves to have this standout character because she's been around for a very long time, and she hasn't been seen as like super duper top star, but she's always been consistent. She's well liked. I can't say a bad thing about her personally. It's just the character she's playing right now is probably the most invested I've ever been in her character, and that's a good thing.
I don't know these people personally. I'm talking about the people I see on screen.
Of course.
And this version of Alicia Edwards, I know it's annoying, but I love it. This is such good shit, pal. This is Don Callis. This is Dominic Mysterio. This is like, yo, this person's the worst ever. And I'm sad. I'm here for it.
I was here for Yuya's goodbye.
Boo!
Joya comes out in they do their full entrance in their gear, and I'm like, come on, man. Come on. Henry puts over Yuya, mentions that, 5 weeks we were together and that stars shine brightest in a short amount of time. And then he hands it over to Yuya, and Yuya says, thank you, fans. And he gets cut off by the Rascals. They basically run down Joya, say, Henry, you're going to be alone next week. And then Henry calls Wentz and Trey the second and third best Rascal. That got me.
Joe Hendry's rude.
Yes, it was very, very good. And I'm thinking to myself, is it Wesley or is it the other guy?
There was another guy besides Wesley.
Myron Reed. Yeah, Myron Reed.
Yes. That's the Lost Rascal. All I know is the three, like Destiny's Child, when it was 3 of them, but real ones know there was 4.
Yeah. So Wesley in NXT, who was Desmond Xavier, and then you've got Myron Reed. He was the 4th. He still performs as a Rascal, but on the indies with them. So there you go. He's just not a part of Impact.
What's happening, Impact?
It is what it is. Henry's like, I will not be alone this week. I will be next week. And then Joya attacks the Rascals. Santino comes out, and of course he makes a tag match. It's non-title. And he says if La Joya wins, I don't know why he thinks that's funny, Yuya gets to keep his job. So Joya and the Rascals show up. And you know what? Good match. Solid match. Rascals are so good at doing this heel, tag team, double team work. In the end, they win. Trey Miguel low blows Yuya while the referee is dealing with Wentz and Joe Hendry. He grabs the spray paint, gets it in the eyes of Yuya Uemura, and then gets the cradle for the win and the pin. I'm going to say this right off the bat. My favorite part about this whole match is that Trey Miguel used a cradle pin to win because he spray painted the man's eyes, and the referee couldn't see that because he had him all balled up. That is psychology 101. That's a great extra piece to add to your wrestling knowledge base. I loved it. What'd you think of this match?
Using his noodle. Now, before I say anything nice about this match, I'm going to tell you that I did not like this match because my feelings were hurt. How dare you dangle a carrot in front of me that Yuya Uemura could get his job back? And just for y'all, boo hiss. The audacity, okay? The audacity, okay? All right. That being said, the match was great. The match was fine. The crowd chant to whoop that trick became a theme from this chant, from this point on throughout the night. Very, 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 very sad to see Yuya Uemura go. If this is the end for him and he's done with his excursion, which I imagine this is, it kind of sucks that we finally got something going for him, and just for it to be like, get out of here. Your mom said you got to go home. Sleepover's over. Get out. Your mom's here to pick you up. I hope he comes back, which I don't see why he wouldn't. This is Impact Wrestling, and Impact is everybody's friend. like everybody loves Impact. So I thought this match was great. Hold on, I just have to double check what my notes are. The spinning two one-hit wonders was ridiculous. The spinning one-hit wonder at the end, I really thought for that moment, like, yes, Joya keeps his job. They said, oh, you're doing so good. You're going to at least win it one time and then go home. But time to cheat. So you're right. It was smart for him to cradle him up with that spray paint. If I was Yuya, before I get out of here, even though I'm fired, I just gonna let him cheat. I would bring it up. I would complain. Either the Shark Boy or I'm playing the Santino. And if that doesn't work, Scott D'Amore, when you coming back to work, you still playing wrestler? I'm complaining. Don't make me get HR. And I don't know who HR is, because last time I checked, Bully Ray was talking about this is an unsafe work environment. And if I gotta get Bully Ray, this place is gone all off the rails. So I'm complaining.
Bully just wants to talk to his pals. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute. But I guess now the question becomes, what happens to Joe Hendry? Does he look for a new tag partner? Does he try to have lightning strike twice, or does he go on a singles run, or do we finally get the heel run?
I think it's time for another Joe Hendry singles run. Maybe if not the digital media, I don't know. The X division is very crowded right now, and I personally am a fan of Joe Hendry. So if he's going for the main title, the world heavyweight, I would want him to win. Right now, at the very top of the mountain is Josh Alexander. Shit, so is Speedball. Nothing against Joe Hendry, but Josh Alexander is a superb wrestler, and so is Mike Speedball. That being said, you gotta give him the Goldberg treatment too. You gotta counterprod them. They're invincible. Mike Speedball Bailey has been wrestling like a maniac he's crazy, dog. And Josh Alexander, walking weapon.
I can't believe the Alex Shelley erasure. He hasn't dropped that title yet, lady. What's going on with you?
Let me not say that Alex Shelley is not. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying nice try, Joel. Nice try.
Saying.
I'm saying that at least Alex Shelley, I think you could get a competitive match out of. You get your 1-2 blues could do. It's like, okay, you lost Alex Shelley. No shame in that. Alex Shelley been here for a million years. Josh Alexander gonna beat you up. Speedball Bailey's gonna put his feet in your face and your back. This losing and it is getting beat up. And when I think of people who will beat you up in Impact Wrestling, Mike Bailey's gonna beat you up with a smile. That's the worst part.
He wasn't smiling at the end of his match. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Diener, this was a promo. This was a good promo. It was a good promo. They're trying to rebuild Diener as he is trying to rebuild his Tower of Truth, the bricks of violence and the foundation of trust, but there are cracks in the foundation. Mentions that it's the fault of the liars, Angels and Callahan, Eric Young, and then he says he's going to return to his throne in his tower with Khan by his side, and then he says that Khan's going to face Josh Alexander next week, who was the first person that Khan went after when Khan returned to Impact. I think it was 2020, the 20th anniversary tapings for Impact. So there you go. Looking forward to Khan versus Josh Alexander again, but anything to add about Diener?
Diener is so delusional. It's giving Tower of Babel. It was good. It was good. But again, Diener with this revisionist history. Poor Diener, you've been so brainwashed. Now it's clearly everyone else's fault. Leave Eric Young alone. He ain't got nothing for you, girl. I don't know. I like these two men. I don't know what we're doing with the design, kind of. I see you're trying to do something. I really do see your blame, but you're blaming everyone else. And at some point, you gotta look here. You know what I mean? The promo itself was good from both of them, and Khan has really nice teeth. Side note, but I don't know what we're doing with the design. I'll give them one last chance because I like them. I like the people involved. I'll give them one last chance. But after this, I don't know.
Hear me out. Joe Hendry joins the design.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been my time. Thank you so much. Joel is on his BS. I don't want to see that.
No, the BS.
He's too positive for that.
Doesn't have to be. The BS was the Memphis street fight. Kenny King and Sheldon Jean versus Tommy Dreamer and Heath. This was not for me, Cresta. It wasn't for me. The ending was for me. So Dreamer hits a Dreamer driver through a table that Heath had set up early in the match. He gets the win. He pins Sheldon Jean after Jean and Heath kind of fought their way outside of the building. And the match was something. But really the post-match was what I care about, Cresta. Crazy Steve appears, takes down Tommy Dreamer with his briefcase, and he's not wearing the face paint. And that was jarring. I can't think of the last time I saw Crazy Steve without his face paint. What do you think of the match? And what do you think of Crazy Steve knocking out Tommy Dreamer?
I'm only going to say nice things about this match because I agree with Joe Pearl. This match was not for Cresta Star. What I did like was that sequence from Heath that I think was a leg lariat into a power slam into a famouser on Sheldon Jean. That was picture perfect, smooth, paint a pretty picture. I did not know what man that was attacking Tommy Dreamer after the match. I was like, what wrestler is? We got a new guy? And it was Crazy Steve. I was like, ain't no way. That's crazy. That's crazy. That was crazy.
That was handsome Steve.
Dashing, handsome. You're onto something there, Joel. Handsome Steve. I just wasn't expecting it. Like, oh no, another Steve Macklin, handsome Steve. Oh no, Jesus, too many Steves. Tommy Dreamer's gonna die, and I hate this. I'm about to witness another murder on Impact Television, and I'm not ready for this because Crazy Steve is really crazy. Like, I always make this analogy. Before Crazy Steve's like, we're gonna go burn down the house. Yeah, now he's like, let's go burn down a house. Nah, dog. I don't want to wrestle him. I don't want that. You want this digital media championship? I don't need this. Take it. Here you go. Merry Christmas.
Someone in the chat's mentioning the idea that Tommy Dreamer looked legit hurt, and he did look legitimately hurt. After the match, he's like kind of grabbing at his side, and it was very strange. Listen, I hope Dreamer's okay. I don't want anyone to get injured. It was just not a great match, unfortunately. It was just felt like they were kind of wrestling underwater for parts of it.
To me, this was a Tommy Dreamer match. Just like some matches are Bully Ray matches, this was a Tommy Dreamer match.
Gail Kim's going to induct Tracy Brooks, and Scott D'Amore is going to induct Don West and Mike Tenay into the Impact Wrestling Hall of Fame. Looking forward to that at Bound for Glory. And then Ace of Base cut a promo. They are coming for the Rascals. They have the briefcase. They are going to be number one contenders. But first, they got to take out the good hands. They want a fans revenge match, which is essentially a lumberjack match, but the fans are surrounding the ring. Unfortunately, they don't bring the weapons. That's too much.
That should have been me. It should have been me.
I need Impact to announce when the next pay-per-view is. Sorry, let me rephrase that. I need Impact Wrestling to announce when Hard to Kill 2024 will be. I know it's in Vegas. I need the date so I can book a $200 flight to Vegas. That's what I'm trying to say.
Me and Joel should hang out. I've never been to Vegas, so
that's a problem waiting to happen if we did that.
I'm too old.
No, you're never too old to lose all your money. No Jason Hotch at these tapings. He actually, in real life, he and his partner just welcomed a newborn baby girl. So congratulations.
Hey, congrats.
Really good news out of that. So Ace says, Skylar, you can go pick a friend. You ain't got no friends, but you pick one and you can face Ace of Base next week in that fans revenge match. Sure, why not? It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Anything to add on Ace of Base?
Who gonna be Skylar's friend? Because Skylar don't got no friends. And Chris Bay would say this about you ain't got no friends. Certainly not one of the Rascals.
All I'm saying is you got both members of Good Hands and tweeting out, will you be my tag team partner? So who knows?
Shark Boy 24/7.
Shark Boy would be great. Jonathan Gresham versus Speedball, part 5. The main takeaway from this match, Cresta, is that Parking Lot Payday is a show that was made specifically for me.
What?
Did you not see them shilling this show on Access?
I heard it, but like sometimes when there are some things my brain just passively tunes out. So now I can't in this moment, like I remember hearing that, but I couldn't tell you what it was about in this very moment. My brain is like,
they literally go to like tailgating parties and parking lots before concerts, and they do a quiz show about whatever concert you're going to see that night.
Oh, that's so free. That is so free. I could do that.
Yeah. Now, see, I've told you the cash cab story.
Psh,
This one doesn't involve anyone hitting anyone with a car.
Please don't hit me with a car. I have a zest for living.
Anyway, we know that the chemistry is there between Speedball and Gresham. And you and I talked about this when they announced the match. We said this is probably going to be when Gresham finally tips his hand and he cheats, and he does. Listen, it's a good match. I like that they're doing a little bit more than they normally did in the last 4 parts. They got a little bit cute, like not bad cute. They used a little bit more in the early parts of their match. So it made sense. It was a different match. The sit down Boston Crab that Gresham did. That
was nasty.
Real good stuff. Love that. And eventually Gresham goes for 3 pins. He grabs one leg, gets 2. He grabs both legs, he gets 2. And then he rolls him right back up, grabs the tights, and he cheats to win. And Speedball is beside himself. He is not happy. And Gresham's like, sorry, bro. What'd you think?
Jonathan Gresham being a cheater. Fantastic. I'm also a fan of Jonathan Gresham. Somebody explained it in words that I couldn't. He belongs in the meat division, and I couldn't put it into words. And someone says, because much like the X division, it's not about height, it's about width. There's no limits. So him cheating makes perfect sense. Like you said, in the character progression, you want a fair match. This is one of the, out of all the baby faces in Impact, you don't get no more baby face than Speedball. Always, he'll beat you up with a smile. And then afterwards have the audacity to go off like, good match, young man. No, screw you, buddy. Screw you, pal. Jonathan Gresham cheating here. I can't wait for him to go full heel because Jonathan Gresham has that natural swag about him that's just like, but you're not going to beat me up because you can't. And when you think you can, I'm going to literally fold you like an Auntie Anne's pretzel and put you in display in the front. Stop it. Knock it off. I love this. I don't know what we do with Speedball in this sense because Kenny King said, I see that you got that dog in you. And even when he had that dog in him in the legally distinct pit for fighting, it wasn't even that much of a dog. So I know how Jonathan Gresham heel gives it up. You're going to have to, he's Christian Cage, but with holds, bro. Like he's mean. He's mean. I don't know what Speedball going to do here. And I think this is a great test for Speedball's character. Like I said, I was very much happy to be here against someone who's just as good, just as talented, but will do what you absolutely won't.
Speedball has a match, by the way, tomorrow night. Our pals at Love Pro Wrestling over in Edmonton, Alberta, Pregnant Pause, Canada. They're going to have a match. It's going to be MRB, Michael Richard Blais versus Speedball. And I'm putting this over because MRB was actually on In the Weeds this past Wednesday to talk about the match and a whole lot more. And because it's Impact and Speedball's part of Impact. But I'm letting y'all know, go Love Pro Wrestling on Twitch. They're going to have the show live. So go check that out because that's going to be a fun show. Show's actually called Speedball Strikes First. So if Speedball doesn't strike first and MRB strikes first, then they got to change all the branding mid-show, and that's just awkward.
I mean, how do we know if Speedball actually shot first? Do we even know Han shot first? Who shot first? How do you know that? This sounds like propaganda.
Well, it's just striking. It's not shooting. We're okay.
Propaganda. No.
Someone in the chat's pointing out something that you and I talked about going into the Gresham and Speedball match, and that's the idea that if Speedball loses, how's that going to affect his momentum versus Will Ospreay? And I just kind of counter back with, you got 2 weeks to build up Speedball. You can have him have other matches and do well, and that's good enough. Or just cut a passionate promo, which it's not always Speedball's strongest suit, but if he has one in him, now's the time to bust it out. What do you think? Because Speedball did drop the fall, albeit in a cheating manner.
I'm not going to hold you. I said this last week. I think Speedball's Wrestler of the Year for me. So him taking a loss is to Jonathan Gresham. Hey, I can understand if he took a loss to Joe Schmo 24/7 down the street. You know what I mean?
Jack Price.
What?
Jack Price.
No comment, Your Honor. But losing to Gresham is not anything bad. But also, like with the year Speedball's had in general, he's up there with me, like with Motor City Machine Guns. If he loses, so what? The match was great. And I don't think either men look awful in defeat here. And it's Will Ospreay. Nothing against Will Ospreay, but I know you're not staying in Impact, bruv. So I know Speedball about to lose to you, bruv, because we want the fans to look good. But if Speedball wins, you're gonna hear me from New York to Canada. You're gonna hear me screaming. But I don't think it affects him. Speedball is just really, so he's having an amazing year. This year has been crack for him.
And you want to add something?
Nah. Anything I was going to say is just going to be me,
If you want your crack of wrestling news fix, head over to FightfulSelect.com. We got Adam Cole updates, baby. We have an Impact update on Sami Callihan's contract. We talked about that with Deonna Purrazzo, of course. Even Moose a little while back, we had an update on Moose's Impact Wrestling contract. We have reactions from higher-ups in WWE to the NXT releases, especially Mustafa Ali and Dana Brooke. And, of course, on top of all of that, we're bringing you the scoops. Wrestle Dream is this weekend. NXT No Mercy is also happening this weekend. We will have the scoops. We will have the info. We'll be there on the ground. Definitely a Wrestle Dream. No Mercy, I think we'll actually have maybe someone there. Who knows? Either way, all the scoops are over at FightfulSelect.com. The best $5 in the business, or the best $51 for a year up until Monday, and then afterwards the promotion goes bye-bye. But you can do an annual subscription anytime you want. But right now you can take advantage, 15% off. Get you 2 months free, basically. So go check that out. FightfulSelect.com. Get the Weekender podcast with Steven Jensen, who will be with us for our Bound for Glory post show on October the 20th. And of course, Sour Graps with Alex Palowski and Kate. And the list goes on with Jimmy and Sean, and the SRS Q&A, and the backstage report, and the coexisting after dark with Rob and Maggie, all the other stuff. FIFAselect.com. Just go do it. Okay. Why aren't you doing it? Have you done it yet? You got to go do it. Get in there. Go.
Do it now. Get to the keyboard. Do it now. Get your credit card. Do it now.
Get to the Patreon.
Get that now. I'll come to your house and break your legs.
Moose and Myers are backstage, and Moose is like, hey, it's been a long time since I've been world champion, but I also haven't been in singles action in a while, so I'm going to get my feet wet next week. Moose is going to return to singles action. Good. Why not? Moose needs he needs to get his singles beak wet before he challenges for the world title. There are a lot of people contending for these championships, Cresta. I don't know who to pick first.
I wrote that Moose is looking next week. Moose wants to see who wants to get moosed. You want to get moosed? Come into the ring, don't matter who it is. Come get this moose. I don't know. Moose versus no, we already did Moose versus Joe Hendry. That's how we got Dancing Moose, and he wasn't happy about that.
Good time though.
That was good. I don't know. I want Joe Hendry against someone fresh, just so I get more peak Joe Hendry album. So I could be like, hey, really? When you releasing your album? Elias released an album.
He released 2 albums. Unfortunately, I reviewed both of them on the Distraction podcast once upon a time on Fightful.com.
Joe Hendry or Elias?
Elias.
Oh, well, yeah.
Second one was not great, guys. Not great.
All I know is the one that they were talking about that was number 1 on like Chinese
That was
Spotify.
the truth. That was the second one. Not great, guys.
Said
Not
somebody want to kill me. Try to put me in the grave.
Stop it. Please stop, for the love of Christ. Macklin's backstage. He asked Bully where he was to protect him from Rhino, since he was helping out when Bully needed him to help with PCO. And Macklin's like, dude, I need your help. What are you doing? And Bully's like, all right, I've known Rhino for 20 plus years. I'll go talk to him. And Macklin just stares at Bully in disbelief. Like, you'll talk to him? What is this shit? And then Macklin's like, you're soft, Bully. He walks away. And I'm thinking to myself, like, if this is a Bully face turn, this is probably the best time to do it, because you've got Bully who just did the Team 3D reunion. They aired the post-match promo. It was fine. So what do you think? Macklin calling Bully soft.
I thought that was funny. I thought that it was funny. I don't know if it's a face turn, but I thought it was funny just to see Bully like, you want me to go deal with Macklin? I mean, Rhino? So you can run through me too? Now we're both gored? I don't think so. Macklin brought up a good point, but also Steve Macklin. Why do you think Bully would help anyone besides himself? Bully barely would. Didn't Bully turn on Devon at one point? Bully is nobody's friend. You know who's Bully's friend? Bully Ray. Bully Ray married Hulk Hogan's daughter to be a piece of crap. He is nobody's friend. The point I'm trying to, he really did that, marry Brooke Hogan. Not Brooke Hogan. That was Brooke Hogan. Kiera Hogan's the other person I'm thinking of. The point I'm trying to make is Bully Ray is self-serving. Why would he help you with Rhino? When he needs your help for PCO, you better get on it, or else he's going to harass you for months. If you try to make Bully Ray do what you want him to do, he's going to be like, I'm not doing that. And who's going to make him? You going to force Bully Ray to do something? That's funny.
Someone in the chat saying that they should send me. I should confront Steve Macklin at Bound for Glory next month. And you know what? Send in your super chats. Send in your Humper chats. If we get high enough, then they'll send me. Maybe they'll send me to Chicago. Which, by the way, I said it was the 20th. I meant October 21st. It's a Saturday. My bad.
Honestly, I would laugh. I would pop right before I cry when Steve Macklin hit you with the KIA.
He ain't gonna hit me with nothing. You know what he'll hit me with? He'll hit me with the crybaby face. That's what he'll hit me with.
I'm rooting for you, Joel. I believe, okay? I believe in Joel Pearl.
Once again, let's not forget who got us into this mess, Cresta Star.
I'm not the one who's continuing this beef, so I don't know what you're talking about, sir. I have no idea what you're speaking on.
Lady, you called him bland, okay? You called him bland.
You keep bringing it up. I don't know why you would say that, Joe Pearl. Wow, why would you say that? That's so crazy. That's crazy. I thought we were supposed to be unbiased journalists over here. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm never once called myself a journalist. That is not what I do.
I'm sorry, wrong J word, jabroni.
You suck so bad.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I get carried away. And you're a heel. It's okay to run you down. You're the biggest heel in the business.
I have feelings too, just like Steve Macklin.
I'm sorry. That's how I get carried away. I'm sorry. You want a bunt cake? Next time I see you, I'm gonna bring you a cookie.
Oh, that'd be nice. I like that. Yeah, thank you. Next week on the show, Tasha Steelz versus Killer Kelly, the fans' revenge match. It's Ace of Base versus Skylar, and who knows? Then they have Josh Alexander and Khan, and they have a 10-person tag. So Jake Something, Dirty Dango, Champagne Singh, Eric Young, and Jordan Grace take on the team of Brian Myers, Shira, Kylan King, Jody Threaten, Bully Ray. Now, is that random? Yes, it's absolutely random. But the winners of the 10-person tag get to compete in a 5-way match the following week to determine the number 1 and number 20 spot in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet at Bound for Glory, which is returning. For those who don't know what the Call Your Shot so many words. Call Your Shot Gauntlet, if you don't know what it is the gauntlet wherein the winner gets a world title shot anytime, any place. You just show up and you do it. Moose once did it to Josh Alexander after Alexander won the world championship, and the heat was through the roof. Who knows?
I remember that.
But I can tell you this. So they're going to determine number 1, because I think it's the person in the 5-way match. The person who gets the pin gets number 1. The person who is pinned is going to be number 20 in Call Your Shot. So have fun with that.
I'm not even. Wait, is it? Don't you mean it the other way around? Because wouldn't you want to be the 20th person out and not the first person?
Yeah, sure, whatever. That is what I meant. Yeah. The winner is the last person out. The loser is the first person out.
I mean, sometimes it'd be like, if that's the case, honestly, I'm sorry, y'all. I have something in my eye and it is not going away. If that's the case, rather than get pinned, I'm rolling out the ring. I'd rather go in mixed fruit basket than me getting pinned. I gotta go in first.
Well, the last 2 people in the ring have a regular match, and that's a pinfall submission in the Call Your Shot Gauntlet match.
Oh, I see. The last time I saw that for real, Bully Ray came back and told Josh Alexander to face-to-face as a man. I'm not going to terrorize you. I'm just here to do it right.
I forgot Bully won last year. Ooh, that was fun.
That's what started this whole mess, this whole fiasco.
It was a good year. It's been a good year in Impact so far. Main event time. Gisele Shaw takes on Trinity. I love this match. This was a case of winning while losing for Gisele Shaw. And I don't know how much longer we can say this, because Gisele Shaw has to get back in some winning ways. But this match was so good for her, despite the fact that she lost. Bonking Trinity's head off the stairs early in the match, doing that count was good stuff. It was just a solid match. It's all Gisele Shaw to start. They do a lot of good back and forth. Jay Vidal trips up Gisele Shaw well. And this is by accident. The referee is dealing with Savannah Evans, looking the other way. So Jay Vidal goes to trip up Trinity, instead trips up Gisele, and then Trinity submits Shaw with the Starstruck. The post-match is really all that matters here. We'll talk about the match in a second. You know what? No, let's talk about the match right now, and then we'll talk post-match. So, Cresta, talk to me. Gisele Shaw versus Trinity.
I agree with you that at this point, we need to do something with Gisele Shaw, because she's been putting up numbers and proving to everyone. When she first came in, yeah, she was a little green, but everyone's new. We all green at one point. But she now is a contender. She's a heavy hitter, and she's been through some shit. She remember her for early in her career, she wrestled Masha Slamovich, not even caring. She's so good. Also got to give it to Trinity. When Trinity chest slapped her, it made me go, I got something in my throat. You sit up straight. And this crowd tonight wasn't shit, because again, whoop that trick again. And poor Gisele, you can see it in her face like getting slapped by Heath. Come on, just do it. Come on, let's get it over with. Damn, I don't care. Trinity hitting the Samoan drop. I see you, sis. Do your big one. The flying crossbody from Gisele Shaw, only a 2 count. The shock and awe on Trinity for, again, only a 2 count. I could see Gisele Shaw cheating her way into a digital media championship, and I would not hate that. I would not hate that.
Okay. I'm hearing you.
I wouldn't hate her even cheating her way into an X division, but I feel like the X division is chaos incarnate. But DMC, there's no harm, no foul. You can really cheat Kenny King out. No, he doesn't have it. Who has it? Tommy Dreamer. Oh, he's about to die to Crazy Steve. Never mind. Don't go towards that man. He's crazy. That man is crazy. Don't do it. But like in another cycle, maybe a couple months from now, maybe after Steve gets in and loses or whatever it is, I can see Gisele Shaw scheming her way into Digital Media Championship, being the quintessential diva, the quintessential digital diva. I could see it. That is something that will put major heat on her. Now everyone's mad. Why the hell does she have it? And if some guy wants to be weird, she'll be like, oh, but Jay Vidal. And you're not going to challenge a woman, are you? I could see that. And it would go great with her heel center of attention. I love it. I think that's great. That's just me. But I agree with you. In defeat, Gisele Shaw looked amazing. And she looked so strong. And taking nothing away from Trinity, because Trinity was selling like Gisele Shaw was beating her ass. So even if she wasn't, I believed it.
Yeah. And that was the best part, is that you had Trinity really selling for Gisele. And that makes the match, right? It takes two to tango, and in this case, it worked. I'm looking at the Call Your Shot gauntlet. We have 10 people announced, because those 10 people in the 10-person tag presumably are going to be part of the Call Your Shot gauntlet. And I'm thinking to myself, maybe you can add, because Jody Threat, Kylan King, Jordan Grace, they're in it. You can add someone like Gisele Shaw, and Call Your Shot is for any title, anytime. You get it.
She could be a piece of, like, Gisele Shaw is one of those characters. She's weaseling. She's a piece of crap. The Shaw Taraj around her is really good, because you got Savannah Evans as her heavy, and Jay Vidal can wrestle. He is not bad at all. He just, sometimes he gets it wrong. Like he gets it wrong. He's a little goofy guy. He's a goofy goober, you know? So, like, I don't hate something like that where you cheat to win. Again, I would say the X Division champion. But that's a who you gonna fight Kenta? you gonna fight Kenta?
I got two people right off the top of my head for that Bound for Glory Call Your Shot gauntlet. I got two people. I'm not going to tell you right now. I'm going to tell you maybe next week. We'll talk about it. Or I'll tell you off the air, and then we'll talk about it.
Okay, I'll do the off the air. Thank you, Dad.
Okay. David Brain Heenan sends us a super chat. By the way, get your super chats in, because we are heading down the home stretch. Gisele Shaw stepped up once again in the main event spot. Trinity continuing to show she's a star for Impact Wrestling. Bound for Glory card looks super stacked so far. So I'm going to even step this comment up even further. Remember how we sat here for months saying, oh, Trinity's just going to stick around till Bound for Glory and then she'll be gone? Well, Impact announced this week that Trinity's going to be a part of the UK tour that happens the week after. So she'll be at Turning Point. She'll be on the next set of tapings. And that's a big get for Impact. And here's what happens. In the post-match, Chantaraj goes to beat down Trinity. Mickie James shows up. She makes the save. She grabs the microphone. She puts over Trinity and says she was so proud to sit at home and see Trinity win the Knockouts World Championship to earn the title, and that she's always had her back and knew that she would shine in Impact, and that she stepped up, which called her glow up, which was a cute little addition. And then Mickie says, we've never stood across the ring from each other. So Mickie James challenges Trinity at Bound for Glory. And now I'm thinking to myself, is this going to be the first loss for Trinity? Or is Mickie James going to lose? Is this a heel turn for Trinity, for Mickie James? Like, where does this go, Cresta Star? Because there are a lot of options, especially knowing now that Trinity's sticking around at least for another loop, as it were.
You know what? I never considered Trinity going heel. Now I was like, why? To me, it makes more sense for Mickie to come in with all this gusto, because I said I never lost, so let's put that on Front Street. But I could see Mickie losing here and Mickie getting pissed. Not only Mickie getting pissed, this will be like the first time for real, you'll have to deal with someone who's going to beat you down after the match, a veteran who knows her stuff. I could see Mickie James getting pissed. Or, we could just have a good old-fashioned, let me shake your hand, thanks for the run, I'm upset, take your stupid belt, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? So I could see that too. It's kind of blowing my mind, because I'm like, why would Trinity go heel? Trinity could get cucked. But no, Mickie wouldn't do that. Mickie's not that kind of wrestler. Mickie could, she has been, she will, she could be. She's that girl when she has to be. I will say that Bound for Glory's card, this included, is really stacked. It's giving me WrestleMania all in one night, just because how stacked it is, and I'm kind of overwhelmed thinking about it. But this is one of those matches I'm looking really forward to, and that's an extra wrinkle. I never thought about Trinity going heel. But to me, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why you would go heel, but It'd be cute. I would like to see a heel Trinity, but also I'm loving this baby face love she's getting. So,
And I agree with you. I'm not necessarily all about getting Trinity to turn, but I'm interested in where the story goes. You could just do a dream match, and that's fine. And I think there's a lot of storytelling going on in Bound for Glory, as it were, that this match can get by on just being two women who have a lot of respect for each other, want to beat the shit out of each other for over the championship. It also makes me think, who's next in line after the winner of this match? Because Jordynne Grace is part of the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, and I think we're one step closer to maybe Jordynne Grace not going after a Knockouts title.
Kylan King, I was going to say that as a joke at first, but then I'm like, I don't hate it. It was the first person Trinity wrestled. Yeah, Trinity just beat her recently, but then that leaves Jody Threat. And nothing against Jody Threat. I was raised in hell, even though I heard someone stole your song, girl. Gimmick infringement.
Thea Hale got to talk about this.
How you gonna be a little gremlin? And I heard you didn't even come down to the ramp like a gremlin. For shame, but that's for a different job. That's for sour graps.
They don't even know.
But I'm like, I don't know. Like, have jokingly Kylan King, have not jokingly Kylan King. Because if it's Jody Threat, Kylan King, who's the other woman in there?
Jordynne Grace.
I can see Jordynne Grace saying, I don't want that Knockouts championship.
And again,
what you doing, Shelly? What you doing, Shelly? Alexander? What are you doing, Alexander?
Any title, anytime. The challengers line up.
The promos between Jordynne Grace and Josh Alexander would be so good. Again, not saying it'll happen. This is just me running wild, but those would be so good. I can see Josh Alexander like, listen, I respect you, but what's happening? And she's like, yeah, what's happening? I'm about to pick you up and put you down. I'm booking myself into a shoot, brother. Sorry.
Either way, there's a lot going on there, and I like this. I like that there are so many moving parts going on right now in Impact. I think that's something that is really exciting going into Bound for Glory season. We got 3 weeks until the show. We are going to be here every week covering the show on Thursdays. We'll be here after Bound for Glory on the 21st of October. That's a Saturday night. It'll be myself. It'll be Cresta the Star. And of course, Steven Jensen from the Weekender podcast and the Spotlight here on youtube.com/Fightful. He'll be joining us too, because he does for all of the Impact pay-per-view events. Until then, Cresta the Star, what you got going on?
Ladies and gentlemen, there will be no Baldur's Gate tonight. Again, I am at the Cresta Star family compound, and there's a lot going on, and I don't have enough of my stuff to make it go on. So you can find me here on Fightful Thursdays with Joe Pearl, covering everything on Impact. Saturdays is going to be myself, Iridian, and Riccicino. This month is just going to be mainly me and Iridian. Rick is cooking something in the kitchen, cooking like it's stir fry. So it's 2-woman power trip all month, except for the 21st. Sorry, Iridian, you're going to be with Sean. I'm going to be here for Bound for Glory. Sorry. That's just me. And besides that, you can find me over on X, Cresta the Star. There's a link tree in my bio. Every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, you can catch me over on twitch.tv or tiktok.com at Cresta Star, where we watch the watch along with professional wrestling. Can't show the video, DMCA, you know the vibes. Come hang out, talk crap. Joe Pearl, where can they find you?
Easy to find. I am at Joel Pearl on all forms of social media, including the one that's supposedly going to shut down again tomorrow. Who knows? It's a weird world. And if not there, then you can catch me in the weeds every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern till noon over on youtube.com/FightfulOverbooked. Myself and Jeremy Lambert talk about wrestling, have a lot of guests. Cam Hawkins joins us tomorrow morning, so that'll be fun. So if you're listening Friday, go check out In the Weeds. We're going to preview No Mercy and a whole bunch of other stuff with Cam Hawkins. So go check that out. Till then, ladies, gentlemen, friends beyond the binary, we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Bye.